shack at. The bottles getting nifty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Sorry about the couple minutes late here, having some computer issues, but I think we are all good. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Back-to-back winning days to start the week. Feel good about it. Yesterday we were 8-6 plus 2.15 units. It wasn't quite as good as it sounds. I cashed the Knicks series at plus 170 because the Grizzlies were very good, you know, even though Von Polo told me to just listen to the professional basketball cappers who were on the Lakers. The Grizzlies were fucking easy. Very, very easy. But the Bucks were a mistake. And then, you know, even betting the Cavs at all was a mistake. So with the plus 1.7 units, gave us winning day in NBA. But 2-0 in NHL, that was very easy. The first period under 1.5 in Seattle, Colorado. The full game under 6 was very, very easy. 3-3 in baseball, down 0.3 units. Just felt like I left a lot of money on the table. I was just a little pensive, and it's frustrating. Very, very, very frustrating. Let me just get the chat up here ready to rock. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We have a very fun card today. We have NHL, and I'm now on a 9-2 run plus 7.03 units in the playoffs. I told you I'm going to dominate the playoffs like last year, and I'll end up in the black. And all I want to do is bet the Golden Knights today. You know, if I, you know, looking back at because I do have more than one unit on the Knights today, but I would prefer to have 5 units on the Golden Knights today. Maybe 5 is a little much. Maybe 3 units on the Golden Knights today and do nothing else in NHL. But I felt a couple spots that were just, you know, screaming at me to move on. And so I moved on them. So I have 5 bets in NHL. I'd prefer it was just the Golden Knights. We have Mr. Gogster joining us for NHL. Then Jose, Bouquett, and I will break down MLB. I've already moved on the 12:35 game, the first one. Well, that's the first one. They're both, sorry. One's at 12:20. Yeah, one's at 12:35. The first one at 12:20. I'm on the Marlins first 5 plus a half, a plus 100 in Miami, Atlanta, first 5 under 4.5, minus 110. I'm not sure where the number is now. That was all bet at about, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock last night. So that's the only bet I've made, but there's a couple others that I'm very interested in. And then NBA, we have Billy Brisbane joining us for Celtics Hawks, and that will put a bow on the show. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. Viper MB says, what up, fam? We are rolling this week. Braves -1 and -130. Boston team total over 119.5 -120. Boston -6.9 -115. Washington first 5 team total over 1.5 plus 110. Thank you for sharing that with us, Vipe, my man. Copy and paste all of that action here. Let's go. Lil Domo, if you are here, I'm not sure which Twitter account is yours. So if you're here, let me know. Jay Smooth in the house. Brian Watson ready to get to work, says Milwaukee Bucks brutal. I liked watching it. Brian Watson says Avs. Wow. You know, that was really no surprise. You should hear, first off, McKinnon slamming his stick against the glass when he doesn't get a call his way. Of course, they're going to go back and score. That's why you're not the captain. You know, handle your emotions like a leader. But also, after the game, he's like about to cry because they don't have Nishushkin, who's I guess a booze bag. Nishushkin and Gabe Landeskog. You know, I can be a leader. I'm happy you're losing. J Dub ready to get work. Justin McElvey. Jorge, don't play. Dennis Garcia said they need to fire Coach Bud. Difference between him and Spo. Wow, yeah, absolutely. It's just wild. Absolutely. He'll be fired. You could tell in the presser after the game. He was very sad. Spenny Penny Bombs. Slatty says, let's get the Rangers under Jimmy. Akira Schmidt, who knew? I didn't. I just felt forced to bet it, Slatty. I was like, just let it go. And I was like, no, I have to bet it. These goaltenders are too hot. We'll talk all about that. Ronnie and Berge hit a 14 with Panthers plus 1.5 Kraken, Pirates, Astros. Look, I told you guys I was very uncomfortable with everybody's Boston action yesterday. I also I could have live bet Boston a couple times, once at plus 175. And I was thinking about it. I was like, no. But I've already moved on the Bruins is it Friday? I believe it's Friday. So I've already moved on the Bruins, and that's more than a unit as well. If that's my only bet tomorrow, I'd be very pleased. So I love the spot for the Bruins. Bergeron coming back, and the Bruins are going to have a ton of value for us on the road in this series, like they have all series long. So I've moved on the Bruins -1 already. Penny Bomb says Seattle putting that pressure. I love it. Lost Boston first period, but Seattle money line. Wow, what a game! Yeah, it was a fun game. I love those jerseys, man. Love those jerseys. Justin McAvee said missed the play of the day by a hook, being up capping since 2, going to bed after the show. I love it, Justin. Great work, man. I love the hustle. I love the hustle. Saturated says Nick's gonna win the East. I put a unit on him, which I'd done it a couple days ago. It went from 35-1 before the playoffs started to 40-1. And I was still humming and hawing how much I should bet. And then it went down to 33-1, and I just moved on it. And 100-1 to win the chip. And now they play the Heat. It's going to be a pretty simple. Well, let's not get into it. Let's just hold off. There is our guy, Razor Sharp Picks in the house. Spenny Penny Bomb says Rangers back to being a dog. Yes, please. There's Clint Star, the diehard MMA podcast. I did, as I told you guys, move on his best bet of 2023 Yadong song. I got plus 100. Moved on it about 36 hours ago. Wine Time Sports, AOD plus 1425 live in Miami. That's beautiful. Beautiful, AOD. Jorge, don't play ready to get to work. RVD 420. I love it. Clint, these things happen. Sometimes your futures get in the way of, at least for me, my futures get in the way of looking at things clearly and making money as we go. I've been thinking about it nonstop this year, trying to not let it happen, because I didn't let it happen last year, even though I had the Stanley Cup final. We all cashed off of Lightning Avalanche last year. Okay, let's get to work here. Viper MB, Ray Charles, Christopher Comatini, Rocco Rogers in the house. Great to see you, Rocco. North Ender 4-1 on the diamond, 1-2 in NBA plus 0.65 units. Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. But any day in the black is a good day. A Real Deal Prime ready to get to work. Alfred 44, Christopher Comatini, Nut Flush Allen, Mark Tequila in the house. Great to see you. Danny Lopez, Jacqueline, great to see you, Jacqueline. Von Polo, JW, Lil Domo. So Lil Domo, have you not tweeted anything before? Because the one I saw, you gave me underscore Lil Domo with 2 O's, and there's nothing had been tweeted, and I was worried that I had the wrong one. So I'm trying to follow you. Lil Domo. Please help me get there. Slatsy said, just read an NHL article on 3 oldest players still not to win a cup playing right now. Joe Pavelski, Brent Burns, Paul Stastny. That's interesting. Pavelski is expected to be playing tomorrow night. Arthur Mead Jr., Rocco Rogers, Saturated. Great to see all you guys. Okay, let's get to work here. Ick Schnizzle in the house. Braves -1.5. Oh, wow. Jerry Springer died. I don't care. I don't, rest, love to his family, but I don't care. Christopher Comentini, ready to get to work. Sweaty Butcher, Arthur Mead Jr. All right, J. Rowe. TJ says, nobody's more pissed than me about going 0-2 on the gift. Time to work on it. You're still 14-5. 14-5 with the gift. There's Piker, Ron Lofton. Okay, great to see you guys. Carlos Garcia, Markel. Let's get to work. Let's get to work in NHL right now. Please welcome your NHL expert here on Thursdays. He's had a solid season. Last week, he went 2-3, down 1.33 units, but he's in the black overall on the season. 167 and 193, hitting at 46.4%, but he's got an average line of plus 122, which gives him plus 2.87 units and an ROI of plus 0.80%. Let's get to work, shall we? Please welcome from dirty Belleville, Ontario, Mr. Gogster to the show. Mr. Gogster, how are you, buddy?
Jerry, what's going on, Jimmy? How you doing, guys in the chat? Glad to be here. Jerry Springer, good childhood memories of old Jerry Jim, but they can't live forever. But moving on, guys, welcome NHL Game 5. We got 3 of them today. Should be a beaut. Jimmy, good to see you as always, brother. Congrats on the awesome start, 9-2. I heard you saying there. I'll be listening. Everyone in the chat should as well. And yeah, let's get after it. Good to see you.
Thank you. It actually wasn't quite the start. It's a 9-2 run in the playoffs. That I tried so hard not to bet game ones, and I still bet a couple of game ones. But thank you. Yeah, it feels good to be rolling right now, and I love capping with you, my friend. Let's get right to work here. Sorry, I had to restart my computer, so I get these up here. Let's get the line history up, and let's get to work, my friend. We start with the most fascinating game on the card for me. Now, obviously, all the road teams winning in New Jersey, New York is very exciting, but
yes,
this is the all eyes on game. East first round, game 5. Toronto leading the series 3-1. Lightning just 18-22-1 on the road. Maple Leafs 50-21-11, 27-8-6 at home. We're at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. I've made 2 bets on this hockey game here. Vasilevsky was average during the year, 2.65 goals against average, 915 save percentage. We all expected him to turn it on in the playoffs. He did not. He is 1-3 in the playoffs with a 4.33 goals against average and 856 save percentage. Samsonov's not playing any better. 3.72 goals against average, 876 save percentage. So it's not like, it's not like you have Schmidt or Shesty standing on their head. So, but he needs to step up. He's being called out. Lalonde said that they had looked at the stats and he was very bad at pucks from the point, and that was all shocking to hear. Any negativity towards Vasilevsky was a surprise, and they said that they had to change their defense around, making sure that there weren't as many pucks coming in from the point because of that. Cooper says that's all bullshit, but that's what
it's stat though. But that's crazy. I think that's a very important stat because he was the assistant coach, a couple years ago. So that's a really good stat for Toronto fans to know.
Tampa Bay has won more periods than they've lost in this series, but the tides have changed, and the Leafs are the better hockey team.
Not the third period.
Tampa Bay, not the third period, but more periods have been won by the Lightning, than the Leafs. But the Leafs are 3-1 and winning 2 overtime games in Tampa is very difficult. The Lightning power play 29.4%. They're losing the face-off battle, which we assumed going into this, but their penalty killing at 64.7% is a real problem. But this Leafs group is very special, very this Leafs offensive group. The forwards are extremely special and very talented. 35.3% power play against the Lightning, and Vasilevsky is very, very impressive. The Leafs coming off winning back-to-back games in overtime down in Tampa. Let's just take a look at the line history. They opened up at -151. There's been no movement. Total-wise, it's opened up at 6.5 and -105 to the under. There's been no movement there either. That's wild. Alex Killorn scored twice. Lightning had a 4-1 lead, and it was erased in 6 minutes. I mean, that's the type of offense you're dealing with the Leafs. Razor sharp picks, Tampa, Toronto, over 6.5 for him. Rick J says Tampa Bay coach said players were crying in the locker room after the last game. I don't know if that's good or bad in hockey. Well, I'll tell you how I'm moving on this. So we all know Toronto hasn't won a playoff series since 2004. They've lost in the first round for 6 straight years. They were up 2-1 and 3-2 over Tampa last year, and Tampa came back. We know that teams that take a 3-1 lead in the best of 7 series are 299 and 31 in the NHL. The Lightning have won 11 of 12 playoff series, and Eric Cernak is not coming back. Mm-hmm. So I think that the Lightning are capable of playing perfect hockey for a period. I've seen them do it for longer than a period.
Yeah.
But I think that, and I've just watched them do it too many times. I've watched Vasilevsky step up too many times. So I'm not going to take the Lightning full game. And I came close, and I thought about it for 2 days. But I will take the Lightning first period at +120. And I will oppose Robert Franklin on his first period over with the first period under 1.5 at +120. Both of my looks are at +120. First period under 1.5 and Lightning first period. And I expect the Lightning to play perfect hockey for as long as they can. But once the floodgates open up, the Leafs offense is just too good. take it away for us, Mr. Gogster. Lightning Leafs Game 5.
Yeah, Jimmy, it's shown the whole series there. Toronto's been coming back, which is very uncharacteristic for this team in the playoffs, especially the last game down 4-1 with 10 minutes left. So Toronto definitely, like you said, 60 minutes, it worries me. But the first period, what I went with Jimmy, I went with the draw. I went the first period draw here. I expect this to be a real tight, cagey game. It was 2-2 in game 3. I don't see it being that high scoring either. I know the last 4 games have gone over. I have a slight lean to the under, but the penalty kills have been subpar. Power plays have been humming. And the biggest problem, guys, for Tampa Bay is Toronto's figured them out, in my opinion, Jimmy. For them to come back against Vasilevsky, that was like, I wouldn't expect that. 2 years ago, you say that's nearly impossible with how well he's been playing. But the fact that the point shots the Leafs have been playing, guys, and the tips, the players that have been in front of the net, if Toronto doesn't have, if the biggest worry for me, guys, going into this game, if you don't see Toronto with much net front presence. So if there's much traffic in front of Vasilevsky, that's not good for Toronto. If Vasilevsky has an open sight, he's going to save the puck. So they need to keep up that same style of hockey, Jim, where have guys in front of the net, shoot those pucks from the point like Riley's been doing, Brody, even Marner. Marner's been at the point there just firing pucks at net because it's been evident, guys. Vasilevsky, he's struggling trying to get around screens all series long. So it does worry me, Tampa Bay, full 60 minutes, but I do actually expect, Jimmy, Tampa Bay to be much more physical, kind of like what you're saying here. And what I did was I went with the third OT. I do think we're going to another OT. I think both these teams are going to be too tight. I could even see Tampa Bay being up again and Toronto just making that push again, firing pucks from the point. And then vice versa. If Toronto's up, Tampa Bay, it's not like they haven't been the better team in this series, to be honest. Like you said, Jimmy, they've led more periods. So I do expect it to be another draw. At the number 2, guys, it's plus 330, and the first period draw is plus 180. So we hit one of those where, it's been a nice day. And then I have a player prop as well, Jimmy. I'm looking at Mitch Marner, guys. He's just been firing the pucks, like I said, from the point. His skating ability is better than most on the ice. So he's had 6 shots in 2 games at home, 6 points as well in those 2 games. I'm taking him over, Jimmy, 2.5 shots. It's going to be minus 130. A little bit of juice there for the player prop, but I expect Marner to just keep firing pucks at the net, over 2.5, minus 130, added to the card.
You got it. Mitch Marner over 2.5 shots. First period draw was plus what?
Plus 330 or plus 180 was the
Plus
first
180,
period.
that's what I thought. And the full game's plus 330.
Yes, sir.
You are locked in. We have Alex Hills. Thank you, gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Thank you, Alex Hills, my friend. That is means a ton to us. Thank you, Mark Tequila, grabbing it. Great stuff here. Great stuff. Razor on the over 6.5. We got Ski Profit in the house wondering if this first period over 1.5 is live. I think this is going to be the Lightning playing exceptional hockey here, and that's the only way they can beat Toronto. And I don't know if they're going to be able to beat Toronto, but I'm on Lightning first period plus 120 and the first period under 1.5 at plus 120. Johnny K looking at the third period over. Nate Cerna says, in a nutshell, this isn't the same Tampa Bay team of recent years. Toronto minus 160. I think that's fair. They're not as good, and they miss Cernak. That's fair.
Look at the last 3 games. Since the first game when Toronto came out with a dud there, it was 3-0 first period Tampa Bay, and then Toronto just got too far behind the 8 ball. Bunting, we didn't even talk about Bunting, Jimmy. He's not even going to be coming back in this game, guys.
No.
For how well they've played. He took that 5-minute penalty in the second, and they were just behind the 8 ball. So the last 3 games, they've just been the better hockey team. But it's not to say Tampa Bay hasn't been able to score too against Toronto. So I could see a 3-3. I could see a 1-1, 0-0 first period, 3-3 full game. I do expect it to be a tight game. The biggest thing, Jimmy, is Toronto just needs to keep, in my opinion, they need to be having players in front of Vasilevsky. If Vasilevsky sees this puck, Toronto, in my opinion, that's how they've been. This has been the difference maker from those series in the past, guys. They've really figured out, okay, pucks at the point, make screens in front of the net for Vasilevsky, tips. The amount of tip pucks Toronto scored this series has been more than I've seen in the past. So just keep up that same mindset.
Yeah, I get it. Razor says tons of pressure on Toronto, right? No, I wouldn't. Being up 3-1.
If they would have lost those games, if it was 2-2 coming back, then I could see a lot more pressure, right? This game, they really want to close this out. They don't want to go back 3-2, but
also knowing that they can win on the road, I think it takes a little bit of the pressure off as well.
And one thing too, Jimmy, sorry, just about this crying thing. I've never heard that in hockey, crying. The only thing I could see is maybe depleted. Tampa Bay kind of knows they're not the same team. Kind of you know what I mean? They're kind of in that depleted, it's twice now at your own barn, and Toronto was able to come back, and it just kind of seems like Tampa Bay is a little depleted, maybe emotionally, not emotionally, but you know what I mean, mentally in this series after those two games.
Well, Razor, they just won twice in Tampa. I don't think they're scared of Tampa. That's all. That's what I mean. And Tampa needs to play perfect. Birdie says, I believe the given events of last game of Lalonde, speaking out of turn, because that really upset a lot of people in the Lightning brass, says that this is says we see Tampa come out really strong. And I agree with that. I will be, and he's betting Tampa first period and first 10 minutes money line. Also, speaking of Birdie gave out a parlay on yesterday's show that's live here with one final pick in the draft at 55-1. I hope some of you guys moved on it. And Birdie, excellent work, my friend. Okay, so the Nutflush says, telling you right now, if Toronto goes up, you best immediately bet the live over. I think that's a great way of looking at it as well.
Yeah, so, 100%.
And Dennis Garcia says, I don't think the extra day helps Toronto. More time to think about not choking. I agree with that as well.
Yeah, I do.
I kind of wish I could bet the Lightning full game, but I can't. Toronto just seems to know that they can, but Toronto just seems to know that they can turn it on and score right now. But we've seen Vasilevsky in these situations here be the best goalie we've ever seen in the history of the sport in spots where they can be eliminated. So we'll see.
The last thing I see before we get done with this game is Tampa Bay losing 7-3. You know what I mean, Jimmy? Like a 6-2. Yeah. They're not going to go out in this playoffs without a fight. So and that live over makes a lot of sense too if Toronto is up 2-0. If
Toronto is up,
yeah.
If the Lightning are up, they're going to park the bus and block every single shot they possibly can and play Lightning hockey. So it's going to be a lot of fun here. To review, Razor Sharp picks us on the over 6.5. I'm on the first period under 1.5 at plus 120. Lightning first period at plus 120. Gogster's on the first period draw at plus 180. Full game draw at plus 330. And Mitch Marner over 2.5 shots at minus 130. RVD 420 says first period over 1.5. Lightning come out hot and heavy. I think Lightning come out hot and heavy, and that gives us an under. But look, that's part of the fun. And Lucas Ryan saying I don't like being up against Jimmy, but it correlates for him. That my highest ROI is when I go up against a capper that I respect, because 80% of the time I will just let it go. The 20% of the time I have the conviction to go up against them, my ROI is very strong. So if you have the conviction, trust yourself. Trust it. Nate Cerna says, would you go with Maple Leafs full game minus 160? No, I don't want minus 160s. I don't like the risk reward there. So no, that doesn't interest me at all. Okay. John Garcia says, I remember when the Red Wings ruled hockey. How long ago was that?
That was me. That's when I grew up watching hockey. It was that was like the late 90s, early 2000s, Jimmy.
That you could almost give them the 90s,
all 90s,
the whole 90s. But they were a special team with that 5-man Russian unit. All right, let's move on. Carlos Garcia's reverse cowgirl player of the day is Chicago White Sox. We will be talking about that here. Andrew G said it's all lining up for the Leafs to win the Cup. If they win tonight, Boston still having trouble with Florida.
The stars are aligning, Jimmy, in a very odd way right now, but
I do not see those stars aligned at all.
It's too early.
They're a very good hockey team, though, the Leafs, and they'll give Boston trouble.
It does help. It does help Florida winning too. It does help. I do think I don't want to take Toronto, but I do think they're going to get it done. My gut's telling me it's going to go to OT though, but I do think Toronto get this one done.
Well, so there's options too when we break down these games, and we're not going to, Mr. Gogster can add anything he wants to Friday's card, but I love the Bruins, and I really like the Knights tonight, but I love the Bruins tomorrow you're able, if you want to, you
I might jump on board with you on that -1, actually.
You can use it as a parlay piece or do it however you want, but I love the Bruins tomorrow night. Okay, let's move on. Next up for us, East first round, Game 5, New York Rangers at New Jersey Devils. Road team has won all 4 games. Akira Schmidt has changed the complexion of this series in a big way. We talked about the reason why Vanacek was available in the first place, and it's because he wasn't able to step up in the big games, according to the Capitals brass, and now he is not doing it here. New York Rangers 24-9-8 on the road. Devils just 24-13-4 at home. And I lost money thinking that would see a positive regression during the year. And we didn't see it. They were dominant on the road, and they just didn't seem to be at the same level at home. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Rangers, Devils. We have the Devils opening up at -119 right now. They're -118. So there's no movement on that. Total wise, this opened up at 5.5 -118 to the under. And there was a big move at 10:40 this morning. It's come back, but there was a 13-cent move towards the under 5.5. I'm surprised it's this juiced, really, because it wasn't at Bet365, and that's a place that won't give you the best line ever. There's a reason why my local wants to be Bet365 and not Pinnacle, right? Pinnacle gives you much better lines than Bet365. I took the under 5.5 -120 in the first period, under 1.5 -120, and I just felt forced to. I was just like, how can I not make this bet here? Now, this is the problem, is that the Devils have not looked good at home. They seem to be playing with extra stress or pressure at home, and the Rangers are able to open up the floodgates when the Devils are at home. Both games, went to 6 goals in New Jersey. So that is a concern. But Shesty is playing spectacular. He was average like Vasilevsky during the regular season. He was last year's Vezina winner. In the playoffs, he's 2-2 with a 1.44 goals against average, 941 save percentage. Schmidt has been unbelievably good. I mean, this is a 5th-round pick in the draft. He's been very good in the A, so it's, he's just carrying that over. But a lot of people would have thought, if Vanacek struggles, is it Blackwood's chance? But the Devils are showing that they don't trust either of those 2 goaltenders. And Schmidt has a 0.966 save percentage. I mean,
he's earned that spot.
My goodness, is that in 0.91 goals against average. These goaltenders are so hot that I had to bet the under 5. I felt forced to bet it. Playoffs, both teams are, winning their share of the faceoffs. They're not very good in the faceoff circle. Rangers are 19th. They're, 48.5% in the series. The Rangers penalty killing has been very good, 84.6%. But, everything has changed since this 22-year-old Akira Schmidt has come in, and this happens every year. One goaltender that you don't expect steps up and leads their team to glory. Johnny K says Rangers win the next 2. RVD says Devils are horrible at home all year long. This is not a horrible record, 24-13-4. Now, it's not good, but that's not a horrible record. So Slati says, surprise, Trouba hasn't hit. Hughes looks good out there. He looks very capable. So I had to move on these 2 spots. Felt forced to. These were my last 2 bets. I made them about 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, and I just had to, even though I was hoping to keep things simple like I did last night. I kept things real simple and went 2-0. Complicated things a little bit. Take it away for us here, Gogster, Rangers, Devils.
Oh, I don't even want to say what I got on this play now, Jimmy. Well, Akira Schmidt. Here's what I got against Akira Schmidt. Now, the 2 games, guys, he's looked really good. Jimmy, you listed off the numbers. Now, in the regular season at home, he played 8 games, guys. He was 3-4-1 with a .902 save percentage. So he's coming back home, 2 games on the road. He's actually been a better road goalie even in the regular season as well. Shesterkin, 17-4-4 regular season. He's 2-2 with a .941. But during the regular season, I know this is the regular season, Jimmy, but it was high trends to the over. And I know what we've seen, guys, have been these low scoring games here, but this is more of a gut feel, I guess you could say here, Jim. I think this is going over, man. I know the power plays have not looked that good. I just don't think Akira Schmidt's going to have the same game here. I think the Rangers, I saw birdies on them first period along with Tampa Bay. I do think the Rangers are going to come out guns a-blazing. But that's not to say, the New Jersey Devils regular season, they were able to figure out Shesterkin, Jim. They had 14 goals in 4 games. And they've been starting to score on him at home as well. So they've seen Shesterkin a lot. I think both teams here they're gonna light the lamp. What I'm gonna go with here, guys, is I'm going the over 5.5 plus 100. Head to head here with Jim. I don't like being head to head, but it's where we are. And I'm taking Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider, guys, on the road. He's had 8 shots in 2 games. So that's what, 4 a game. I only need 2.5 at plus 100, Jimmy. Sign me up for that player prop. Chris Kreider, guys, over 2.5 shots plus 100. Real heartbeat of this hockey team. So I'm going to take that as well. I got 3 player props for the show. That's the second one. And I'm going a little different here, guys. I'm going with some score props. 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, Jim. And I'm putting a half unit. I know I'm kind of getting crazy with this, but I think this is going to be a real tight game, brother. I really do. 2-2, 3-3, 4-4. So 2-2 is plus 750. 3-3 is 10-1. And then 4-4 is 20-1. So I'm going to have a half unit on each one of those. So that'll be 1.5 in total, along with the full game over 5.5 plus 100 and Chris Kreider over 2.5 shots at plus 1.
Did you tweet out any of this?
I haven't yet. I should have, because I could have got better numbers.
Not on the over. There's been a huge move to the under.
Sorry, yeah, not on that, Jim. Just on the draws, just because the number came back a bit on the Rangers, so it was actually plus 950 for 2-2, and then 13-1, 28-1, but the numbers have dropped a bit. Because
we don't do half units here on any when I track anybody. So do you want them or not? You don't have to. If you don't.
Yeah, let's have some fun here, guys. Yeah, let's have some fun.
Okay, so 2-2 was what?
2-2 is 750.
Okay, 3-3.
3-3 is 10-1.
Okay.
And then 4-4 is 20-1.
Jesus.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the numbers were actually a lot better. It's 28-1 for 4-4. You know what, Jim? I'm going to go down on it. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. I've already bet all of these plays, guys. I did go a little smaller on these, Jim, but I understand for betting purposes, we got 1 unit. This game, it's going back to the Devils. They got blown out those first 2 games. I don't see that happening here. And I think the Rangers are going to come out guns a-blazing. What's so funny?
Oh, Piker says, trust me, he's a half unit and nobody wants it. But here, what are you adding after Kreider, the over in these ties?
That's it. After that, I got some plays in the Vegas game, obviously, but that's all I got there, guys. Yeah.
Very, very exciting action from Mr. Gogster here. And as we've been speaking, a huge move. Now, the over 5.5 at Pinnacle's plus 112. So you're going to see 5s here soon. So it's a wild move there. And that happened in like the last hour and a half or 2. And look, I can understand what you're saying. The Devils play with a ton of pressure on them at home, and the Rangers can open up the floodgates. So I don't think there's a reason why these were the last bets that I made. I just felt forced to. But look, I whenever I make a bet, I go, what could go wrong? And I break down what I think could go wrong in this bet. And the first thing I thought of immediately was the Rangers. There's a lot of offensive firepower in these 2 teams that are being held off the score sheet. I mean, look at Mike M. He says Mercer's a great prop. Mercer's done nothing. So he's like, Mercer's now the goal prop's what, plus 3 something. So I get it.
I don't trust Akira Schmidt as much as I know we've saw 2 games, guys, but this is not a goalie that's had that much experience in the playoffs. And you got the Rangers now with their back up against the wall, 2-2. If the Rangers do get up, and it's not like the Devils haven't been able to score, like I said off the top. So I think it's gonna be a back and forth game. I do.
I'm excited. I'm excited about all of these games tonight. Let's move on to the final game in NHL before we get into MLB. Here we go. We have West first round game 5, Vegas leading the series 3-1. Winnipeg Jets 46-33-3, 20-20-1 on the road at the Vegas Golden Knights 51-22-9, 25-15-1 at home. T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. This has been a fascinating series because the Golden Knights are completely dominating 5-on-5. And when you are losing the special team battle, your goalie can get hot and you can win hockey games. And so that's Winnipeg's opportunity. But they are getting dominated 5-on-5. And if any team's dominating 5-on-5, I want them. I don't care if they're losing special teams. I believe that stuff can, either regress or progress to the mean. And so it does not concern me. The Knights opened up at minus 176. They're now minus 185. They got up to minus 190 at Pinnacle. They're at minus 185 right now. The total here opened up at 5.5, minus 121 to the over. There's been really no movement on that total. My concern here is the Winnipeg Jets. And Josh Morrissey is a spectacular defenseman. He's a Vezina finalist year in and year out. He's the reason why Winnipeg just let everybody go. Now, Tyler Myers, they were laughing, saying, what ass clown would sign this right off? And then, of course, Benning raised his hand and said, we'll pay him a ton of money to be a shitty third liner. One of the worst Corsi defensemen I've ever seen. And they got rid of Trouba. They didn't need Trouba. They didn't need anybody because they had Morrissey. And Morrissey being out of the lineup hurts badly. It hurts so badly. Then you lose Scheifele. Scheifele's such a gamer, and he could play.
I saw he's out. I saw he's out. I saw a thing on Twitter, that they're saying he's out, but Ehlers looks like he's going to be skating in practice.
Yeah, and Ehlers not going to be 100%, but he's going to try to go. I thought that Scheifele might still try to go, pull a Willis Reed.
Triple check, guys, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to.
I was surprised that they said he was going to try to go. But and anybody who loves hockey and loves Dale Hawerchuk knows how special Scheifele is. And Hawerchuk demanded that the Jets pick him. I think it was 7th overall. And he's this Scheifele's a heart and soul kid. But you have Logan Stanley taking over Morrissey's spot. I mean, you're in big trouble. You also have all of these Manitoba-born players on Vegas who are just loving every second of beating the Jets. Brett Howden was a great pickup, Manitoba-born. Mark Stone, Winnipeg-born. Chandler Stevenson's dominating 5-on-5. Laurent Brossoit is not intimidated by the Jets. And why would he be intimidated by this group here? Blake Wheeler's doing all he can, and Pierre-Luc Dubois doing all he can. Chandler Stevenson is such a phenomenal hockey player. And losing Eriksson Ek for the Wild, they're similar type of hockey players. I think Stevenson's a little faster and a little better, but they're both very, very important. He's the 4th player in Golden Knights history to record multiple points in 3 or more consecutive playoff games. They have such a rich playoff history, and they just became a hockey team. But Winnipeg is hitting at 41.7% on the power play and 85.7% penalty killing. Yeah. The Knights look awful in their special teams, and it will hurt them. 14.3% power play, 58.3% penalty killing. It will hurt them when they play better hockey teams, but it won't hurt them here. And I bet this as soon as I could 2 days ago. I love the spot. Now, Winnipeg's going to try their hardest, but I don't think it'll be enough. So, Able A on the Vegas and the over. Winnipeg will have to pull their goalies and stuff like that. I just don't trust Winnipeg to score enough here. So, there you go. I'm on Vegas -1. I got that -1 at -106. I bet about 48 hours ago or something like that. I bet as soon as I could. I was a little lazy, to be honest with you. Now I remember I was a little lazy because I ended up having to bet it at Bet Online because Bet365 had moved it already. Had moved it while I was deciding how much I was going to bet on it. But yeah, so I'm on the Knights -1. I bet a couple days ago. Take it away for us here, Mr. Gogster. Last game on the NHL card: Jets, Golden Knights.
Yeah, guys, the Vegas Golden Knights, they should be able to take care of business. The injuries, I think, Jimmy, are too much. Now, once they win this series, they're going to have to play Edmonton or LA. And you know what? I think Edmonton, if they can get by LA here, Jimmy, I think they're much better than well, I wouldn't say much better, but I think they should take care of Vegas just in that situation. Now, Brossoit stands on his head. It could be a different situation, but I do like that matchup for Edmonton. But looking at this game, there's just Hellebuck, he's been okay, but 1-3, Jimmy, 0.895. The injuries to Morrissey and Scheifele, guys, it's a horrible time. And the replacement in Logan Stanley is just not going to get the job done for Winnipeg. If anything, they're going to have to play more at home. They have one real goal scorer in Connors, who's he's been shooting the puck like crazy, actually, Jim. On those two road games in Vegas, he had 13 shots I have here, 2 goals in 2 games. And then Lowry had 6 shots. So I'm going to do another prop here with Connors. I'm going to take him over 3.5 shots. It's a little bit of juice at -135, but if there's a guy that they're going to rely on, even him to score a point, guys, but I think it's like -180. Connors is going to be their guy. Connor. He's going to be their guy. He's they're so depleted here, guys. It's going to be tough for Winnipeg. If they win this game, Jimmy, it's going to be, I think, 2-3-1. Hellebuck's going to have to steal it for them. So
a bloodbath is coming. If the Jets can win this game, then the bloodbath will move 2 days later. You bet the Knights right away. Bet more than you bet in this game. It's
60 minutes. 60 minutes. I want the 4 lines of Vegas here, and with Cassidy here. It's too bad. Bonus, they're doing the best they can right now. Ehlers' game time decision should be in, but again, he hasn't been playing in this series. So give me Vegas as well, Gene. I'm taking them in regulation. Minus 105 now. The line moved a little bit. Minus 105 Vegas regulation to take care of business, and then Connors to pepper the puck at pepper the biscuit at Brossois.
I love it. There you go. Let's review all NHL action. Razor sharp picks. He's on the Tampa Toronto over 6.5. First period under 1.5 at plus 120. Lightning first period at plus 120 for me. Gogster's first period draw, full game draw, and Marner over 2.5 shots. So
yes,
that is our game at 7 p.m. And man, I cannot wait to watch it. And the Rangers Devils game starting 30 minutes later. It's just fucking heaven, man.
Not much work's getting done at work on these afternoon shifts lately.
Oh, I can't.
You wonder why, right?
Oh God, I can't wait. I remember back when I was in high school. I mean, you could run home from school, smoke a bat with the boys, run home from school, playoff start. I mean, it's just
that's legendary. Yeah.
Gogster's on the over 5.5 in Rangers Devils. Kreider over 2.5 shots at plus 100. Yep. He's on 2-2 at plus 750, 3-3 at plus 1,000, 4-4 at plus 2,000. Going for a home run, and that's exciting. I'm on the first period under 1.5 in New York Rangers under 5.5. Then Gogster's on Connors over 3.5 shots at minus 135. Knights in regulation at minus 105. I'm just on Knights minus 106. Kept it clean, but did bet more than a unit on the spot. So there you go. Trans Canada in the house. Mr. Gogster, you've been great this year, and double digits over the season, still calling your name. So keep up the great work. Look forward to rocking again next Thursday. Good luck in the Mexico Open today. That popped off this morning.
Yes, and we got Steven Jagerbombs, Germany's finest, minus 5, tied for first. I think he's at 60-1, Jimmy, first round leader. So a couple guys in the chat, pray for us. Everyone else, be good. Catch some tickets today. Real Deal Prime, Trans Canada, Lucas, Birdie, everyone, AOD. It's a treat as always, just to cap hockey with you guys. It's the bread and butter over here. Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go!
Fuck them Leafs, man. Billy Frieder says, I think Vegas wins the West. I know that's not popular. Vegas is a very, very good hockey team. The problem is, they were 19th in the league in penalty killing, and now they have to play. It looks like they'll have to play the best power play in the history of our sport, with Laurent Brossois between the pipes. Dangerous. All right, let's move into MLB. We got a ton of afternoon action. And, this happened last year when I'd have a bad day and be angry about leaving money on the table. And, it was 3-3 down 0.3 units. So, Reds first 5 cashed, Texas first 5 under 4.5 lost, but the full game under 9 cashed. My unders were atrocious. New York, Minnesota first 5 under 4, Detroit, Milwaukee first 5 under 4.5 was horrible. But the Nationals first 5 plus a half was great. So far, if I didn't take the plus a half and took these dogs on the money line, I would be doing quite a bit better. The thing is, and I'm tracking it, Dennis Garcia, no, we're not counting out the Kings. We're not counting out the Kings. The Kings are, a really good hockey team. But, the Kings are a really good hockey team. And I can't wait to watch the next game of that series. But back to this spot here. Sometimes I am scared to, and then I don't fucking hit me with the scare them. I don't make money, fucking horseshit. I'm scared to back a big dog. And if I need to take it, bet it a plus a half at even money to put the money down on it, I'm okay with that. Maybe I wouldn't do it at plus 165. Now I'm tracking it. If this keeps happening where it doesn't matter that I'm using the plus a half, then I'll stop. I'll get myself to stop. So we'll see. Jorge, don't play, now a member of Weeby Pubbin Pub Sports Radio. Thank you. That means a ton to us. Nate Cerna is on the Jays yesterday. I love that. All right, let's get to work in MLB. We've climbed out of the gutter, but I'm still down 5.44 units on the year. So I still, God damn, do I need to get my head above water here. And we'll see if we can do it here. And I'm excited to do it with your next guest, star of Say Hey Plays of the day, and our producer here on Betting with the Bag. Please welcome the man they call Sweet Tea Tits, Jose Bouquett. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jimmy. Nice to see you as always. I too have felt like I have left money on the table, but it's going to be a good day today. I think it's a sparse card for me, but I think I've got some good looks. I even put in 2 early looks, and one the line movement went my way, so it's made me feel good about myself. So,
well, I'm excited to cap the card with you. Let's get right to work. Let me just pull up the line cash history here.
While you do that, I'll tell you, Jimmy, I feel like, mentally I'm in a great space now because I am secluded by myself for a couple of days here in Austin with me and Samson the dog. So now I'm doing nothing but just vigorously tugging myself and capping baseball. So it's going to be a great time.
Let's get to work. 12:20 p.m. Eastern. We start in 31 minutes. I have doubled up on this baseball game, and I don't even know where the line is right now. I will have to check. I haven't looked to see if I beat it by a match.
I think you did.
You did. Let's get to work. Miami Marlins, 12-13, 5-7 on the road at the Atlanta Braves, 17-8, 7-6 at home. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get the weather up here first and take a look at it. And again, this game pops off in 30 short minutes. We got a lot of afternoon baseball. I love these days. So opens up 59 Fahrenheit. Wow, it's even worse weather than it was. But we have light rain coming here about an hour in. That's a concern. I mean, the Marlins bullpen isn't trash, but the Braves bullpen is considerably better. I hope that kind of stays away. 8.1 miles per hour in, 8.1 to 8.4 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. And this was another spot. So you can tell I've been thinking about taking when I'm taking these plus a halves, if I should be doing it. Yeah, you're right. I smashed this line move. Wow. All right. So Atlanta opening up minus 195. They're now minus 163. Wow. 163. A big move here towards the Marlins. From a total standpoint, this opened up at 8.5. There's been no movement on the total. Interesting. Has there been any movement on the first 5 total? Move to the over. Makes me nervous. That makes me nervous. Okay, let's take a look at the cash flow on this. Wow, maybe I'm not in as good a spot as I thought. 46% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on the Marlins. And then total-wise, 65% of the tickets, 68% cash on the over. So there's been a lot of over coming in. Noli No says 87% humidity should be the emphasis with the weather being it's in Atlanta. So it's a humid, sticky. I should probably pull out Ballpark Pal. I know that you use that quite a bit. It should be used. Nick Kaysen took the Marlins yesterday. He's on the Braves today. I took the Marlins first 5 plus a half at plus 100. Curious to see what that is. I could have got them at plus 160 on the first 5. I took the plus a half at plus money. I'd be very curious to see what it is right now. Check this out here. Here we go. The first 5 plus a half now. Just 5 cents. Man, that's too bad. I really thought it kind of beat these line moves. BJ says it is raining right now. So, Braxton Garrett going up against Kyle Wright. Braxton Garrett, the lefty. Now, we know Braves smash lefties, 305, 901 OPS. So, I mean, maybe it doesn't all correlate, but I've been very impressed with Braxton Garrett for a while now. 2.84 ERA, 1.42 whip, 16 Ks, 3 walks, just 1 home run allowed in 19 innings. Coming off a 3-2 win at Cleveland, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 1 walk. Going up against Kyle Wright, and part of this cap was that Kyle Wright would pitch better here. He started the season on the IL. He has had shoulder issues for a long time. Long time. I mean, like, 6 months, 5 months. So he got a cortisone shot in January. He dealt with right shoulder inflammation throughout the spring. He was incredible last year, 21-5, 3.19 ERA, the only 20-game winner in the entire league. The Marlins don't hit righties, 231, 688 OPS. I moved on the first 5 under 4.5, and the Marlins first 5 plus half. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, my friend. The floor is yours.
Well, yeah, I originally was on your side, Jimmy, honestly. But the Braves against lefties are just so good that I was scared to go with Braxton Garrett here. He's pitched well against the Braves last year, 6 innings, a shutout, 4 2/3, 2 earned runs. Pretty good. He's pitched good this year so far. So everything to me just says Marlins, to be honest, but just the Braves offense is just, we talked about the best offenses in baseball. I mentioned that it was the Padres. They've just gone to the shitter. It's really the Braves. The Braves offense is just relentless. Against righties, they're not as good, obviously, but their lefty numbers are ridiculous. So I passed on this game, honestly. I thought I was going to join you with the Marlins first 5. But like I said, I passed. You know what's interesting? It seems like it's going to rain in this game. And obviously it's early, thankfully. So it seems like it'll be delayed. So who knows how that affects it as well. But it does seem like it's going to rain. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, let's get another look at the Atlanta weather here. It says it's not raining right now, but
my boots on the ground says otherwise.
Yeah,
apparently.
boots on the ground says otherwise. And TJ said, I don't understand the Marlins love here. There's something wrong with Kyle Wright in his shoulder. Now, I think that he's had enough opportunities. His last start was at home versus a very tough Astros squad. 4 runs in 5 innings, 2 jacks. Joe says no rain at this point. It's Old National says not raining here currently.
Okay.
So I think Braxton Garrett is the real deal. And yes, I know the Braves smash lefties, and I'm not asking him to win the whole. I'm not asking the Marlins to win the whole game. I'm asking them to be tied here. Proof Bet's looking at the Nerfy in this one. So there we go. Marlins, Braves. I'm on the first 5 plus a half, a plus 100. It's basically available there now. I'm also on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 110, and that is now minus 105. So wow.
Would you feel better or worse about the under if it gets delayed?
I guess I would feel worse, just because they're not in their rhythm. But I guess I would rather it be delayed than start and stop.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Nate Cerna says right shoulder is the unpredictable factor. Mike M says Miami in a 2010 spot versus division before 6 p.m. after outcome of previous game. And Jorge Don't Play has put no rain first inning on his card. Okay, let's move on. Those are the only 2 spots that I bet thus far. Let's move on to game 2 here. This one pops off in 39 minutes. Los Angeles Dodgers 13-12, 7-6 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates, 17-8, 8-4 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's go to the weather first on this one. 55 Fahrenheit, 5.7 miles per hour in, dies down to 4.7 miles per hour. So it's blowing in a pitcher's park, but not too much. Let's go over to the line history here for this one. Pirates, Dodgers, Urias versus Keller. This is going to be a lot of fun, this one. They're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
It's something about the, that neck, it's just the slit there just looks nice.
Jesus. The Dodgers opened up minus 165. They're now minus 151, 14 cents. God, you can tell Jose's all alone in the house. He's talking about neck slips. This total opened up at 8, is now at 7.5, minus 112 to the under. This was minus 119 to the under 27 minutes ago. So the over 7.5 was at plus 106. And so we've had 7 cents of movement towards the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have on that total 61% of tickets, 87% of cash, but we've just seen some buyback there. On the money line, we have 54% of tickets and 70% of the cash on the Pirates. Interesting. Urias coming off a tough start at the Cubs. Now the Cubs destroy lefties, and so have the Pirates so far this year. 285, 813 OPS. The Dodgers hit righties hard. I mean, that's what kept me off the under here. 243, 810 OPS for the Dodgers, against righties. Keller looked good in that last start. Now he's got consecutive home starts. I think Keller's live here, but I don't want to. Urias, I believe, was seeing the Cubs for the second straight time, and they got to him. But overall, Urias is a really good pitcher that I trust, and I don't feel very confident fading him, but I guess the price is right. I guess right now, we say that the price is right. Also, the Pirates bullpen, Pirates sitting at 17-8 and 8-4 at home. Bullpen 3.52 ERA, 1.36 with way better numbers than the Dodgers bullpen. Do we really believe this? Noli Knows says under. TJ says any team with Hayward batting third is a fade. Says Pittsburgh first 5 is on his card. Mike M says Urias after Dodgers lose by 2 or more in this last start is 18-6. Abel A looking at Dodgers first 5 and the team total over. This is Arthur Meade Jr. looking at the Dodgers team total over. Proof Bets is on Pirates first 5. Take it away here for us. I didn't feel like anything really lined up enough for me, except maybe the Pirates. But then, do I really want to not expect Urias to bounce back? I can't wait to hear your breakdown. Take it away. This game pops off in 36 minutes. Jose, Dodgers Pirates.
You hear that, Jim?
No.
That's the sound of the flag being raised. Damn it, we're fucking raising it today. I just hit my elbow on the desk. Hell yeah. I'm on Pirates team total over 3 here. A little juicy at minus 125. Thank God for Bovada. Jimmy vigorously looking for something.
We don't have it anymore, eh? We don't have the old pick.
I don't know. I don't remember what we're looking for. Oh, God. Those are just the little things that crack me up. Jimmy just vigorously scrolling and looking for something.
I missed that.
I don't know what.
We had to raise it. You're too lit for this, man. You're too lit.
Oh, my goodness. It's hilarious.
Right, but if you give us winners, we don't care how much you've smoked.
Jesus,
Dodgers,
let me be, Jimmy. Let me focus here. I'm laughing at you just vigorously scrolling. It made me chuckle. Apologies. Apologies. No, but yeah, no, I like the Pirates here. I need bounce. Oh God. No, the chat's been on fire today too. I've been getting roasted as well. Razor gets his shots, and it's funny. Sorry, guys. You guys are hilarious. My bad. But no, the Pirates have been the squad this year. They've been America's darlings. They've been one of the best teams in baseball this year. It's been hilarious to watch. The best part about it is that it's especially with Syndergaard on the bump. You can say this in particular. It's like Ji Hwan Bae, for example. He'll get on base however way. He'll get a single, get hit by a pitch, walk, and then immediately they'll just steal the base, get the double, get a single, score a run, et cetera, et cetera. I just think this Pirates team's a pretty good squid. Oh my goodness, this fucking Mike. This is why we can't do. I'm gonna take this seriously, guys. Jimmy, what happened to taking this shit seriously?
Look at you, man.
You're the one cracking up over there. Goodness. Now, unfortunately for me, like you guys are taking Pirates first 5. I don't have enough confidence to back our girl Helen Mitch Keller. He pitched well against them last year. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs there. Mitch and I was going to call him Luis Urias. Julio Urias, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. Lost both of those starts, by the way, in both those lines, minus 220 and minus 360. We remember the minus 360 very well. And it seems like, I don't know why, but I guess the Pirates kind of just own the Dodgers here. So give me the Pirates team total over 3. It's going to be a fun game to watch for sure.
So, Jose, team total over 3. What was the juice?
Minus 125. You can shop around for that one because I have not tweeted that one out. I only tweeted 2 plays out, and we'll get to those later on in the card.
Okay, let's find that for you because I imagine we'll be able to get something better. But actually, I'll have to look at a couple different books because generally
a lot of them are 3.5s or plus 110 right now. So I'm feeling a little safe. Shout out to my guy Justin and his stacks pod. I was on it as well yesterday. We both lost by the hook, which is really annoying. So maybe that's why I'm on the 3. Who knows? But that's just what I'm betting. Yeah. And shout out to the stacks pod for Dodgers first 5 minus a half there.
And we have laughter at this Dodgers lineup. It's wild watching this Dodgers team. We're just so used to them dominating. Well, 1-2 Betts and Freeman, but then Hayward, Outman. I mean, Outman has
Outman might win Rookie of the Year.
Peralta, Taylor, Bush, Thompson, Barnes.
It's funny. We were talking about their low batting average and all that stuff, but they're still weighted runs created plus. Full season, they're 121 fourth, and then for the last 2.5 weeks since the 9th is what I've cut it off at. I might cut it down even lower to get the week and a half. I don't know. But we'll see how today goes, obviously. But full or for the week, 2 weeks and a half here, 9th, 109. So still performing technically, but it's just not pretty. And again, we all know why the lineup is this way. They're going to get Ohtani next year. So
yeah, Rem, I discussed the weather. To repeat, it's 55 Fahrenheit, 5.7 miles per hour in.
Yeah, that's another concern about me betting team total over 2, but hopefully that's not a big factor.
And the first 5 is 3.5 at plus 100 here. I imagine this has gone down from 4, right? Let's just see that right now. The total here, first 5 is open at 4. Probably should have got on that at 4.
Well, we've got an interesting scenario here. The Stacks pod and now TJ coming in with a gift as well. TJ gifting the Pirates first 5 plus a half.
First 5 plus a half. That does seem that seems like a nice spot, doesn't it? Let's see what I would get on that. Pirates first 5 plus a half with Keller at home. I mean, because at this point you're not really. Let me just see here what I would get. I kind of like what TJ's doing here. I feel like I missed the. Yeah, I'm getting that.
Man.
Oh wait, yeah, I think this works.
Fucking Piker has me in stitches over here, man.
All right, so I like the idea here with that spot. Sorry, you guys, I'm gonna have to bet this here in the next 20 minutes. So I just want to make sure that I'm
with the Pirates. You're on the Pirates, correct?
I think that first 5 plus a half makes sense to me. We had a move towards the Pirates. I like Keller in the second straight start. I expect Urias to pitch well, but it kind of combines with the first 5 under, but I've missed that. I can let that go. Wow. And if I do think it's going to be an under, yes, it's 14-5. The gift record is 14-5. Okay, Jeez. I'm going to tail that. I'm going to get minus 110 on it, but I'm going to tail the Pittsburgh Pirates first 5 plus a half. I think that makes sense to me. All right, let's move on. Next up for us, 1:05 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Mariners 11-13, 4-4 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies, 12-13, 7-5 at home, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, the reason why I can't bet the first 5 under in that Dodgers-Pittsburgh game is because I was staring at this for a long time last night. And I got scared because of the way these teams are hitting righties and lefties. And maybe I shouldn't have. But
how are your unders going anyways? I had a shit time with first 5 unders and such.
I imagine that they're doing poorly, but I'm trying not to look too much because I've only bet 81 bets. So I don't want to get too caught up in, I don't want anything in my head right now. I just want to take where I see an advantage. But a quick look here. It started out poorly. This is going to take too long, and I don't want to suffer everybody through it, but I will find that out for you. I'll have that ready for you tomorrow. Let's go. Mariners, Phillies, Citizens Bank Park. We'll start with the weather here. 55 Fahrenheit, 5.4 miles per hour, right to left, but out, right to left out, between 5.4 and 5.2, so not heavy. Go over to the line history here with Kirby and Strom. We have the Phillies open up -110, they're now -104, so 6 cents of movement towards the Mariners. From a total standpoint, it's opened up at 8.5. -111 to the over. It's now just -104 to the over. So there's been a slight move to the under, which did sort of surprise me. I was interested in the over. 73% of tickets are on that over. So it's a good thing, that I didn't move on it pre-flop, because only 36% of cash is there, which means, there are books that have moved this to 8 even. So that's interesting. Cash-wise, 34% of tickets, 76% of cash is on the Mariners, and I get that. Although Rocco Rogers on Philly first 5, and Top Set says he's on Philadelphia. Joe Yerger saying lefty and righty splits are overcapped. Justin McAvee did go on the over at 8. Mike M said Seattle bats come to life when Kirby starts on the road. 10-1 to the over. Seattle also 11-2 run line in this spot. So Kirby, 2-1, 3.57 ERA, 1.06 whip, 17 Ks and just 1 walk this year, and 1 home run he's allowed in those 22 2/3. Last start was a win at home over the Cardinals, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks. What concerned me here was the homes, leaving home. I believe, I don't have it in front of me. Maybe you can pull it up, Jose. I had to take out all my tabs, as you know. Didn't Kirby have back-to-back home starts and look good in them? If you could just take a look at that.
Yeah, his last 2 starts, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs versus the Cardinals, 5-2 win for the Seattle Mariners there, and then versus the Rockies, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 9-2 dub there.
That makes me, it's not a spot where I really want to expect the same success. Strom coming off allowing 3 earned runs at home versus the Rockies over 5 1/3. He's a 3 ERA, 0.94 whip, and he doesn't want fans drinking in the 8th inning. So,
we talked about this last time too.
Mariners versus lefties, 206, 651 OPS. They've struggled against them. Phillies versus righties, 284, 801 OPS. Mariners bullpen, 3.30 ERA, 1.31 whip. And the Phillies bullpen's pitching a little better all of a sudden. 4.89 ERA, 1.48 whip. Take it away for us here. Mariners, Phillies, Jose, floor is yours.
Yeah, I've been sitting with this one for a while too. And the Phillies lineup, we all know, is spectacular. Just names on paper is really nice. They have a shortstop that I don't talk about anymore. I really think the Phillies can get to him here. And, maybe you're right about the 2 back-to-back home starts, then going on the road. I just took it from the standpoint of he's a young pitcher still. This is a really good lineup. They're 4th right now in the last 2.5 weeks with a weighted runs created plus against righties, 121. I just think they get to him here. So I was sitting on it and, hearing some people in the chat, and I've obviously stopped laughing. You can tell I've stopped looking at the chat. That's why I've stopped laughing. But I've looked at, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take Phillies team total over 4 at -105. I'm still not wary of backing Matty Strom. It's still hilarious to me that he's a starter now all of a sudden. But I can't back him. And, it is kind of unfortunate. His last 2 starts haven't been too bad. But he's got a combined 0 earned runs of run support in the last 2. So I think he can get some runs here. And I think the Phillies score. Give me 5 runs, Philadelphia, at home against a young pitcher, a bullpen that's okay to good when you get to the end of it. But I think it's vulnerable in the middle parts as well. So give Phillies team total.
Noli knows giving the Mariners first 5. I played it over and over and over in my head when Noli knows gave us the Orioles first 5. And I look back, I'm like, what didn't I like? 66% of tickets, 67% of cash. That's close enough. Things have got to be close enough. That's what I decided after watching the Leans cash yesterday. That if it's close enough and I'm winning, which I've been doing just, for about a week in baseball. It hasn't been a great season, but I've been winning and I've got to just go with it. He's on the Mariners first 5 here. Look, if the market wasn't moving towards the under and the public wasn't on the over, I'd be right there with you. But I'm never going to be. I'm not. That's going to be a red flag forever now. But Phillies team total over for you here. Let's see what we can offer you. We'll go to Pinnacle. You were right. Pinnacle was offering the 3.5, not the 3, and that was at plus 118 for the Pirates. So we have to use your 3. But let's do it here with the Mariners. The Seattle Mariners, Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies team total over. Shit, they're messed. They're 3.5 at minus 142. What are you getting your 4 at?
Bovada. The only thing they're good for are team totals because they give you the variety of options.
Yeah, no, it's still like, but you're right. That was a part. Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I'm still going back over yesterday's no bet on a fucking. What's
I'll take partial responsibility. I'm a Red Sox guy. You just didn't want to make the Red Sox bet in my face or the Orioles bet in my face, you know?
No, that was no basis at all in my thought process. But what's your team total over for?
Minus 105.
Minus 105 for Jose. I'm gonna have to stay off that. I just bet the Pirates first 5 plus a half at minus 110. I got 5 cents worse than TJ. So I will put that out on Twitter here at some point. Let's move on. 2:20 p.m. Eastern is next for us, and we arrive at Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. 7-5 is the spreadsheet play of the day. He's also given us a pick on every show since baseball season started. He's had some pushes. That's why he's just 7-5. He asked me to track it, and he hasn't missed a day. And look, I love Ron Crawford. 7-5, 58.3% plus 2.22 units, ROI plus 18.50%, and his average line is plus 101. I do have Bet Online right now, but I just sent it in at minus 110. Was it better at Bet Online? I probably should have looked, but I'm running real nice with my local right now, and
you're taking fucking Greg's money.
It's Dan, and yes. So I was just, instantly moving over there, but I probably should have looked. Let's move on here, but let's shout out our guy, Ron Crawford. So Ron Crawford is on the Padres minus 1 at minus 105. Ron Crawford on the Padres minus 1 at minus 105. And shout out to Ron Crawford and the spreadsheet play of the day. Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's take a look at the weather here. 50 Fahrenheit, 9.6 miles per hour, right to left, and just right across the diamond. No movement all day, 9.6 to 9.9 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the the line history here for this one. Lugo versus Wesneski. We have the Cubs opening up at plus 123. They're now plus 133. So a 12-cent move to the Padres. And I was interested in the Padres, and I stopped in my tracks when the market was moving towards the Cubs. I was like, well, what am I missing? And then I started seeing something from Wesneski. Now he's got the consecutive home starts, which is something I like. And he, just went up against the Dodgers and, 4 1/3, 3 earned runs, 1 homer. It wasn't horrific, but I stopped in my tracks. Now the public is moving on the Padres. I don't know if I trust that move, in all honesty. This total opened up at 9 and it dropped 8.5, which is another signal that maybe Wesneski pitches well here. I'm very interested to see what the cash is now on this game. Now we have 64% of the tickets, 63% of the cash on the Padres. 54% of the tickets, 90% of cash on the under. So an expectation that Lugo will pitch well here. Rocco Rogers on Padres first 5, money line minus 135. Typically don't even like this much juice, but he's going to take it. Mike Wilkerson's Padres team total over. And Brown Hughes says, I like the Padres first 5 team total over 2.5. And then Piker's all over the Cubbies. This is a really interesting one where I was like, of course, I'm seeing a public play before the public. And that just, stopped me in the tracks. But you see the spreadsheets on it. And, the market's now moving towards it. Lugo's looked quite good. 2-1, 2.78 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, 23 Ks and 22 2/3. He only had 1 home run. Last start at Arizona was nice. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. Padres are not hitting righties, 203, 663 OPS, and the Cubs are hitting righties hard, not quite as hard as lefties, but hard, 274, 782 OPS. Cubs bullpen 4.24 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. Troy Torrance, what up, man? And Nick Kaysen doubling up on the Cubbies, so interesting. Padres bullpen 4.50 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Take it away for us here. We have a big one. Padres, Cubs. Jose, floor is yours.
Yeah, I honestly I lean towards the Cubs here. I didn't make a play in this one, but the Cubs offense has just been phenomenal. It's been a lot better than expected. Cody Bellinger apparently is back from the grave. Who knew? They still have moves they can make too as well. They just get Eric Hosmer out of their lineup and promote a prospect. So the Cubs, I think, are actually going to be pretty decent this year. I think this could be sustained. But Hayden, yeah, he's pitched well in the last 3 appearances, or I should say last 2 appearances, bouncing back from a shit start against Seattle. 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and then 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run versus the Oakland A's, if that still counts. So yeah, it's tough. I honestly, it's still kind of sketchy to back him. I would agree with you there. And Seth Lugo, arguably he's been the best pitcher in the staff. It's been kind of amazing to watch him go. I didn't think he was gonna be this good. I was kind of shocked to see him go 6 innings. But what can we say? 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs versus the Arizona Diamondbacks, a good Diamondback squad right now. That's really good. The only thing that makes me kind of wary of like taking any kind of Padres anything is just their bats have been so cold. And what's funny, Jim? One of the theorems that people are talking about the Padres being so bad, in particular Manny Machado and Juan Soto, is they're sped up now because of the pitch clock. Like Juan Soto can't be up there shuffling, doing his thing. Manny Machado's fucking notoriously getting violations and being slow as shit, regardless. So it's just one of those things. No problem, Jeff. I didn't, but I appreciate it. I'm trepidatious on both sides. I lean Cubs. Yeah, like I said, like Joe Durker is saying, it's Cubs or nothing for me here, and I'm probably going nothing.
I would love to back Lugo, but I think I'm overemphasizing the pitching advantage with the starters, I think. But I mean, that first move was a real move towards the Cubs, and so I think I just let this go. I got to let this go. God, I got to say that to myself over and over again, so I'll actually do it. But I mean, this opened up yesterday at, you know what? I guess they said there was a quick 10-cent move towards the Padres before the buyback. So is that right? So say what?
I was going to say it's at -150 now in my book. So I don't know about you.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be there because -144 at Pinnacle. Yeah, I'm not going to move on the Padres here for me. Not going to move it. Oh, wow. And then look at that. TJ got the -115. So that did work. It's just my initial move is always to send it in, TJ. But I got to start looking. But I'm also, multitasking here. All right. Spreadsheet play today from Ron Crawford on San Diego -1 and -105. And this would have been a bet I would have been on 3 years ago. And I don't do it anymore. So we move on. 3:45 p.m. Eastern. Next up, St. Louis Cardinals 9-16, 4-8 on the road at San Francisco Giants 11-13, 7-6 at home. We're at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. We will go into the weather first and foremost. 57 Fahrenheit out to the left field pole, but then it becomes out to left field, and it speeds up a little bit. But we've been dealing with 10 and 12 mile per hour winds. This is, quiet, and those winds swirl anyway, so it's not a big deal. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Michaelis versus Logan Webb. There's been a big move towards Logan Webb, 20-cent move. Again, I thought about moving, but there had been no move. The move happened at Pinnacle at 1:14 in the morning. Now it's moving towards the Giants, and from a total perspective, there's been an 8-cent move to the over. I think that kind of caught me a bit by surprise. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot. Cardinals, Giants, 71% of the tickets and 57% of the cash on the Giants. So some of the bigger bets have been placed on the Cardinals. 65% of the tickets, 72% of cash on the over. Logan Webb just hasn't been quite as dominant, but here he gets that second straight home start, and I like that. Michaelis has not looked very good this year, but he's better than those numbers indicate. 7.46 ERA, 1.89 WHIP. Coming off a 5-4 loss at the Mariners, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, 2 walks. Logan Webb has not looked very good, but that last start was very good. 7-4 win at home versus the Mets. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, 8 Ks, 1 walk. Now he gets started at home again. The Giants are hitting 256, 814 OPS versus righties. Cards is 255, 738. And the Cards bullpen is better than the Giants bullpen at this point in the year. Piker says he wants to fade Michael every chance he can. Leans first 5-run line, needs a little peer pressure though. And Ron Lofton says, although they haven't shown it much, I trust these pitchers enough to bring the first 5 under 4.5. Justin McElvey, Giants first 5. And Brocco said I made money nonstop against Michaelis. I don't see reason to back Michaelis until he literally proves he cannot give up runs. I'm going to have to stay off this. It's just with the bigger bets coming in on the Cardinals and the move to the over. But, man, I would like to bet Logan Webb here. I like the fact that he's pitching again at home. I like that his best performance was just against the Mets, 5 days ago. But I got to stick to the plan and leave this off. Take it away, Jose. Cardinals, Giants.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I stayed off this game though. I sat there because last night they didn't have first 5 numbers available, so I was like, all right, I'll just write down Giants first 5. We'll check on it when I wake up. Minus 135 last night. Now it's just going up. The thing that really did worry me is I did look at batter versus pitcher against Michaelis, and the numbers weren't even that good. No one really hits him on the team, and I was like, okay, well, I guess this is just a stay off then. Because Webb has been okay this year, but it's been 4 earned runs in every start except for his last one, which was 2 earned runs, and that was the first start the Giants won with him on the mound. So I ultimately just passed on this game. I definitely leaned towards the Giants here just to back Webb because Michaelis has been horrific this year, just truly horrible. But you're right about him being better than this. I mean, he obviously is. Will he get better? Will this be a bounce back spot for him here? I don't know. An interesting note here, though. Full season, the Giants are 124 weighted runs created plus against righties. But last 2.5 weeks, they're 12th, 107. And then I was curious, and I just did the last week and a half, and they're now I think it was 95, 97. So they just keep going down. So it's obviously they're struggling against righties right now. So I'm a pass on this game. So it was just nothing for me here, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that's the same for me. I would like to move on it as well, but can't do it. Let's move on. 4:07 p.m. Eastern. Next up for us, Oakland Athletics 5-20, 3-10 on the road at the LA Angels, 13-12, 7-5 at home at Angels Stadium in Anaheim, California. We will start with the weather in LA. 69 Fahrenheit, 8.4 miles per hour to right center. Gets up to 9.7 miles per hour. Move over to the line history here for this one. JP Sears versus Shohei Ohtani. We have the Angels opening up minus 285. It hasn't moved. It actually went down to 276. So it has not moved on Ohtani. Total wise, this opened up at 8 and it's now at 8.5. So they are expecting some sort of offense here. And you could imagine when Ohtani is a 0.64 ERA, 0.82 whip, that offense would be coming from the Angels, who hit lefties hard, 282, 817 OPS. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 95% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Angels. Market, not moving. Maybe it's just too big of a line, though. Total-wise, 77% of tickets, 99% of cash on the over. 99 on the over. The hip to be square parlay today, Angels, Yankees. Says nothing more square than Ohtani and the Yankees. JP Sears coming off 5-4 win at the Rangers. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 11 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts. He hasn't been striking out a ton of batters this year, but that was the first real nice K performance from him. Shohei's being nothing short of spectacular. I mean, 38 strikeouts in 28 innings. Has walked 15 batters, but hasn't allowed a home run. I mean, has he even barreled even? Last start, 7 innings, 2 hits, 11 Ks, 2 walks, 2-0 win at home over the Royals. Now he gets another home start. A's bullpen 6.81 ERA, 1.70 WHIP, and the Angels bullpen's been quite a bit better. So take it away for us here, Jose, a man you love dearly. Shohei Ohtani on the bump. A's, Angels.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this the other day, listening to a podcast. I think I've just kind of decided he's the greatest singular baseball player we will ever see play baseball. Like there is nobody that has ever done what he is doing at the same time. Like, we can talk about Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth didn't pitch and hit at the same time. So it's just so different when you've got a guy pitching like Pedro Martinez and hitting like fucking Barry Bonds or whoever you want to compare him to, Willie Mays. It's so crazy. And with that being said, of course I'm fading him here because it's a minus 300 and I'm betting Oakland A's money line. That's obvious. We saw this matchup already once this year on opening day. Ohtani pitched against the Oakland A's and he dominated. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs. Guess what? It lost that game 2-1. I'm on the A's here. Everyone knows why I'm on the A's. But it's just, we just need to take a second and appreciate that Shohei Ohtani is what I think is the greatest baseball player we'll ever see play baseball. Now, it'll be nice next year when he leaves this fucking bum franchise. But, it's just bow down to Shohei, please.
Plus 268. And you're getting a lot of love from the chat all of a sudden, Jose. It's
how it happens.
It's a wild ride. It's a wild ride.
You just have to get on the chat roller coaster and hang on for dear life.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this spot here. TJ says A's are on his card. He'll be going against Ohtani for his next handful of starts. Might not win today, but ROI will be positive. As spectacular as he has been, he is overvalued. Mike M says, I've mentioned the lack of run support. Here's some data. 13-0-2 to the under when he's a greater than a minus 130 money line favorite. That's a wild edge. Wild angle.
He is very DeGrom-esque in the fact that the lineup gets so just worked up because they're like, we have to score runs for Shohei, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how it happened with DeGrom too. Like, we have to score runs for DeGrom, and they just never end up scoring. I think they're very similar in that aspect.
Let's move on. I'm off that spot. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Baltimore Orioles 16-8, 7-4 on the road at Detroit Tigers 9-14, 4-4 at home. Or Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Go to the weather here in Detroit. 58 Fahrenheit, 7.9 miles per hour in. Drops down to 6.6. Starting to warm up a little bit up here. Take a look at the line history here. Gibson versus Wentz.
Hell yeah.
Wentz can hit, right?
Not well.
I thought he was going to be, but no, he's not looked good. Orioles open up minus 132, now minus 143, an 11-cent move to the Orioles. Ohtani's so good at it that no one else is going to bother anymore. They're just going to let go. Trying to
they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We can't go up with that. I can see that too. I hope more people do it. Get some Americans in there. Come on.
This got up to minus 156 on the Orioles, and not too long ago at 8:14 a.m. It's now minus 143. So there's been an 11-cent move to the Orioles at this point. Totals wise, this opened up at 8 and it has not moved. Minus 106 to the under, now minus 107 to the under. And Vitalis giving us a final score there, 20-2 in the Angels game. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this spot. 70% of tickets, 69% of cash on the Orioles. Market moving towards the Orioles. Then we have 62% tickets, 57% cash on the under. Market not moving. Top set looking at Baltimore on the run line minus 1.5 at plus 120. Maxwell says Lorenzen can hit.
Yeah, he should fucking do it and provide some value to his fucking team because his pitching's not fucking doing it.
He did not make me look good yesterday. Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson, 4-0, 3.60 ERA, 1.17 whip, 24 Ks in 30 innings. Has allowed 4 homers. He's coming off a performance against these very Tigers, against Joey Wentz. It was at home. He went 6 1/3, allowed 2 hits, solo shot, 11 Ks, 3 walks. Joey Wentz did not look good in that start. 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. We know that the Orioles hit lefties, but those numbers are dropping a little bit. 261, 787 OPS, but the Tigers aren't hitting righties at all. 208, 598 OPS. Orioles bullpen 2.78 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, getting better and better as the season goes on. It's going to be really strong. Tigers bullpen 4.14 ERA, 1.06 WHIP. Dabby Cab in the house says he thinks Padres roll again today, but he hasn't bet it yet. TJ says we bet Baltimore at about 8.45 last night, minus 132. Bought some back this morning at plus 143. For TJ.
Nice.
Take it away for us here, Jose. Orioles, Tigers.
Yeah, I was interested to see how Kyle Gibson did in his back-to-backs. So I went back and I looked last year to see just if he had any back-to-backs, how did he do? And it was mostly the same. It was good teams too, because he's on the Phillies, but when he went up against these teams back-to-back, it was always kind of like the same starts again and again and again. So he did have one shit back-to-back, but I'll say this. Here are the ones that I'm looking at now. I'll reference them directly. Miami, he went back-to-back at the end of the year, kind of when he was worn down. First start, 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run in the second start. Let's go back to another one, 2 against the Cardinals. He was shit the first one against a good Cardinals squad, obviously. 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs. Went back 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs there. The Mets, early in the season, which is a good reference point because we're seeing now, I guess is what I'm looking at. At the Mets, 4 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, no earned runs. His second start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. I think those are 2 good starts there. We'll accept both times. And then Colorado, right before those, he had 2 against Colorado as well. Both very similar, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and then 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs there. So I think they just kind of expect the same thing from Kyle Gibson here again. 6 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run last time out. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we got 6 innings, 2 earned runs from Kyle Gibson. I would probably be on the Orioles here if their offense was just humming a little bit better against lefties. But Joey Wentz, I just can't. I can't back Joey Wentz, unfortunately. He's just not that good. And the offense for the Tigers has been horrific. Second to last full season against righties. And right now, the Orioles against lefties, last week and a half, even 100 weighted runs created plus. So a pass game for me here, but I do think the Orioles do get it done. I definitely lean that way.
Yeah, they're just better.
Yes.
Yeah. 71% of tickets on them. What are the Tigers' weighted runs created versus righties over the last? You pick an amount of time. I mean, we know they've been terrible. 208, 598 OPS this year.
Yeah, I can tell you the last 2.5 weeks, it's 69, third to last, 29th in the league. And I'll give you the last week and a half too, because I have that split there against righties. Well, against lefties, they've been tearing the cover off the ball. I can tell you that. But against righties, 26th in the league, 57. So they continue to struggle.
Yeah. Troy and Mike looking at the under in this spot. I mean, I certainly would go full game. I really like both these bullpens, and the Tigers bullpen's better than they've looked thus far, and the Orioles bullpen's real.
It always feels like these shitty teams have good bullpens to start the season because they know they're going to trade them at the end of the trade deadline because they're shit.
Tigers bullpen was great all year last year. But you're right. They made a bunch of moves. They traded their key pieces at the deadline, and then they were worse in the last month and a half. So no, you nailed that.
I also have a question for you here in a second, but go ahead.
I feel like I should move on the Orioles -1. Gibson has enough tricks up his sleeve. He's been pitching well. I mean, he's not someone I really trust. Let me just take a quick look at what he's done on the road. What was the question?
You were talking about like when you decide to make your bets overnight. Do you at the first sign of movement towards your inkling, your side, do you make that bet?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. If I see the movement and we're through the first inning, by the way, in Miami, Atlanta with no score. It didn't help my unders yesterday, but it helps. Basically, I just need a sign to say yes, do it. You're going to beat the line move. And I got that from this Miami Atlanta spot, and then it kind of went against me. But the thing is last year those bets I made before I came to the show had a negative ROI, clear negative ROI. This year that hasn't been the case. I'm positive right now, so if that's the case, I might open it up even a little more, and not because now I have the last year was the first what I got down like 15 units in the first week last year, and I was like, okay, let's stop everything. Let's do what the success we had in the second half of the year before. And now I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with it, even though it still needs some tweaks, I imagine. Let's just take a look at Gibson's. I don't need to look at his splits. I'd rather look at the actual situation. So against the White Sox, 4 earned runs. At Texas, 2 earned runs. Boston, 4 earned runs. This is just those are lineups that can hit you. Not the White Sox necessarily, but yeah, they're just better. I'm very close to moving on the Orioles in this public spot, but we just talked about pitchers who just faced each other. Now we do it again in Tampa Bay, Chicago White Sox, guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's move over to the weather with these Cubs. God, do they look awful. Almost missed La Russa sleeping. 58 Fahrenheit, 8.6 miles per hour down to 7.3 miles per hour. I think the problem here is that the White Sox, they have, this lineup has no heart. They have one guy in Anderson who's got heart and cares so much, and it just doesn't seem like the others do. I don't know if that's fair to say, but Tim Anderson cares so much, and I just don't see anybody else caring, at least offensively for this ball club. The Rays opened up minus 143. They're now minus 151. From a total standpoint, this opened up heavily juiced to the under. It's now dropped to 7. So opened up at under 7 at minus 121. Now it's at 7, juiced to the over. So we have a move to the under and a slight move to the Rays. A move to the under and a slight move to the Rays. And then cash-wise here, we have 24% of the tickets and 51% of the cash is on the White Sox. That's why it's just such a slight move to the Rays. Total-wise, 54% of the tickets, 61% of cash, but the market seems a little concerned. Yes, DC Capper. We go chronologically, so we have the late game still. So Shane McClanahan going up against Dylan Cease. McClanahan coming off 4-3 extra inning win here against these White Sox. Went 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs. There were solo shots, 10 Ks, 1 walk, 1.86 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. These are not the White Sox juggernauts versus lefties that we remember. We got to wipe that from our subconscious. 214 batting average, 662 OPS. The Rays smash righties, 267, 843 OPS. Dylan Cease only made it through 4 innings, allowed 3 earned runs in that 4-3 extra inning loss. But he's, good pitcher. 2.73 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 34 Ks and 26 in the third. Rays bullpen, 2.49 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, and the White Sox bullpen has struggled all year. Take it away for us here, Jose. Back-to-back games where the pitchers have just seen each other, which is something that I've handled poorly in my career, and I'm trying to get better at. How are you handling this one, Rays, White Sox?
Yeah, you didn't mention Shane McClanahan maybe had one of the most dominant outings against these White Sox for just swing and miss. The White Sox swung and miss at 32 of his pitches. I think his pitch count was 89, and that is a record. It smashes a record for most swing of misses for a pitcher that threw under 90 pitches and threw another 90 pitches. So there you go. The previous one was 25 and he had 32. So yeah, I honestly, I want Shohei Ohtani to win the Cy Young so fucking badly, because then he's going to, I just continue to praise his glory because he'll win MVP too. But it just seems like Shane McClanahan is really that fucking dude. And this is one of the bets that I made overnight. I was hoping that it would move a little more my direction, just like the last game on the card it did. I'm on Tampa Bay -1. I got it at -116. Like I said, I tweeted it out last night. I just think that the Rays are simply too good. Dylan Cease, I understand, very good pitcher, but the Rays organization is a little different. I think they can take advantage of a back-to-back here, and it kind of sucks for Dylan Cease because I think he's phenomenal. And there was a good rant by a White Sox fan this morning that I listened to. It was very funny. It's like 7 minutes soliloquy of how shitty the White Sox are and how incompetent everything about them is. You mentioned Tim Anderson. We talk about Dylan Cease. These guys might not even be on the fucking team by the end of the year. So who knows what this White Sox team is going to do. I just hope for Dylan Cease's sake he can actually get some decent matchups. But Rays -1. I think they win this ball game going away. Their numbers against lefties are just horrific now.
Yeah, and a very, very important conversation in the chat, Mike Emmett and TJ. TJ saying, Jose, this is a perfect situation. You could have had Baltimore -132 on the early line. You have to take it knowing that they'll take more money. Even if you totally get off of it, the next day you will make money. Buying back. And Mike M saying, when I bet overnight, my CLV is large and my losses are equally large. I talked about that all last year, right? I'd stopped. It was in NHL. It was so evident. I'd be beating these moves on our show by 80 cents and losing. And I was like, okay. And I'm trying to write it out here, but it's not enough time. TJ says, if you guys find yourselves continually getting CLV and they're not on exchanges selling those off, you're really missing out on a key aspect in sports betting. And he's right. So he says it means you're taking the right side on the market read. If you're losing doing that, you need to start buying back and see how it works. Changed his betting life. And I would be doing that. I wish I was betting more money. I just feel like at this level that I'm at with, 200 or 150 units, depending on the sport, that it's just, it doesn't feel worth it at times. That's the wrong way to think about it.
It's definitely not worth it for my unit size.
But it's good practice.
Yeah.
For maybe when we do have bigger units. Mr. Vapes on Tampa, team total over 3.5, paying the juice here. No, I feel you, TJ. And that's why I kind of corrected that Dan saying, it's just good practice. And I do, look, another issue that I've always had is my dad hedged a lot. And then I just turned everything into a hedge. And then this was before I even started doing this publicly. My friends would make fun of me at the club, at the Yuck Yucks club, not a fucking nightclub. But they would be like, I would be talking about my action, and then they'd be like, I'm sure you've whittled that down to no profit. And I feel, all right, fuck. So Rays -1 at -106 for Jose. I get it. I expect Cease to be better, and I think McClanahan can do it again against these guys. And look at Ski. I mean, this is such an important conversation. He's saying the same thing. He's saying CLV don't mean shit in NBA anymore. He says other sports up for debate.
Well, they could just rule someone the fuck out in the NBA last second. And it fucks everything up. That's why the sport's fucked.
No, but it's also, I think the key part of it here, and this is simplifying it too much. But because we do this all day, this is our job. This is what we do. And I mean, some of you guys have day jobs, but this is all you care about, and I love that. It's like a job. Of course, we're going to see the public move before the public. Of course. And so, it hurt me badly in NHL, and Ski saying it doesn't help in NBA. So, but this deserves its own show. It's fascinating. We have such incredible cappers in the chat that can discuss it better than I can and more eloquently for sure. North End is saying he agrees in NBA it doesn't matter. So back to this spot here. I want to stay focused. Here's a look. We talk about the problems that we have gambling. What are the mistakes you're making? What are the things that are going wrong? For me, when I don't succeed at a certain angle, it sticks in my head, and it just fucking sticks in my head. And when pitchers face each other again, unless they both were bad or both were very good, I find it very tricky to have an expectation of them in the next start. But we're saying that these are elite pitchers. McClanahan's going to do what he just did, and Cease is more than capable of bouncing back. That's all fair, but that's what the market is doing as well. And now I'm going to be sitting here. It's 2-0 Dodgers, by the way. 2-0 Dodgers early.
I'm glad it's a team total.
Still 0-0 in the Marlins Braves, so that's helpful. Back to this spot here. If I wanted to take this first 5 under, 3.5 -115, I mean, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. What's keeping you off and under here?
Just history of poor success with unders right now. That's why I honestly think this Rays offense is good enough to get what is it, 3.5?
Yeah.
I think they can get 4 off Cease, honestly.
Hmm.
And anything you get from McClanahan would be a bonus. I mean, he gave up 2 earned runs last time, so it's just scary. But I mean, they're 30th right now, last 2.5 weeks against lefties, 36 weighted runs created plus, and obviously that's Shane McClanahan as well. But still, I mean, it's just I can't do it.
All right, I am off, sadly. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals. The Washington Nationals are going to pay us in unders all year long. Their bullpen is really good, surprisingly. Now, the sample size is small. Their offense is anemic. We saw what happens when they have a decent starting pitcher in Mackenzie Gore on the mound. Now, you could say, well, they don't have one today in Trevor Williams, and that would be valid. But Washington Nationals unders. Trevor Williams going up against Joey Lucchesi. Lucchesi came back from TJ surgery and was excellent. Is that something that we can believe in moving forward? I don't think we can. 53 Fahrenheit, 6.2 miles per hour out to left center. This Washington team can play well defensively. I'm starting to like betting on this Nationals baseball team, whether it be unders or whether backing them first 5. I'm starting to feel like we get a ton of value on them, and they're better than they look, and they're 7-5 on the road.
Yeah, Cab ridicules me for betting on the Nationals a lot, and I have been betting as well.
I like them. North Ender says our first 5 system picked up 2 more big dogs. They're staying Nats. Marlins is 4 in a row. Yeah, let me know when just in case I'm overwhelmed and don't notice it. Hit me up with it, North Ender, when we got one. DC Capper in the house, coming off a great day. I love seeing that. Gerald Jones looking at the Washington Mets under. Williams and Lucchesi are very, very difficult to trust here. But let's take a look at the weather and the line history and everything. So 6.2 miles per hour out, down to 5.3 miles per hour. Line history-wise in this one, we have, taking a second, a move towards the Mets, minus 210 to minus 229. You know, nobody ever wants to bet on Trevor Williams, but he's not quite as bad as his numbers sometimes indicate. I mean, he's got off to an okay start here. There's been a 3-cent move to the over at 8.5, so very little market movement, but a legit move towards the Mets. Let's take a look at the line history and see if that's all makes sense. 26% of the tickets and 59% of the cash on the Nationals, and this move towards the Mets. 42% of the tickets, 89% cash on the under, and very, very, very slight move to the over. I do not. Lucchesi was spectacular against the Giants. Great. Do it again. The Nats hit lefties, 299, 753 OPS. The Nats hit lefties harder than the Mets hit righties. Jose and I said right when we looked at this Mets lineup, is like, what? This is what 500 million gets you? No, I mean, obviously.
Was that me saying what, or was that you saying what?
I was shocked. That was me. My voice always gets higher.
Okay, I was wondering.
Bullpens have been great.
What?
Why don't we move on the under? Because we can't trust Lucchesi and we can't trust Trevor Williams. Take it away, Jose. What are you doing here?
Why don't we move on the Nationals? Why not a little revenge start for Trevor Williams? Last team last year was always the 6th guy. Unfortunately, I'm not moving on it myself, but I lean towards the Nationals here too. It pisses me off, Jim. I bet on almost every Josiah Gray start. They score combined 0 earned up. Well, we lost Jim. We lost Jimmy. There we go. Now he's gonna freak out there. I can't wait to see what happens when Jimmy comes back and his Mets freak out. But I bet on Josiah Gray, as you guys know, for fucking his whole first 5 or 6 starts. And he just shit his pants. He didn't shit his pants. The Nationals didn't perform. Welcome back, Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but thank you.
But I bet on Josiah Gray. The offense never came. I don't bet on Josiah Gray. Of course it comes. He pitches great again, et cetera, et cetera. I think Trevor Williams pitches well here, honestly. I really think he does. And do I trust the Nationals offense to score runs off Lucchesi? I mean, that's the ultimate crowning jewel here. Full season against lefties, 110 weighted runs created plus for the Nationals. That's 10th. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, last 2.5 weeks, 82 weighted runs created plus. That's 23rd. And I'll check and see what the last week and a half was real quick, just for my sake, because I did want to back this Nationals team, honestly. I really do. And they're 76 still with only 18 at bats. So I haven't seen a lefty a lot in the last week and a half either. So it's just one of those things, man, that I like the Nationals here. The lines move towards the Mets. Do I have the balls to take them? I don't think I do. So I passed.
Yeah, I don't want. I'd love to fade Lucchesi here, but I don't want to sit here and trust Trevor Williams. I don't know here if this is a Rebenga spot or the Mets are going to laugh at this guy who they watch throw 85 miles an hour. You know, I don't know what angle it is. All right, it's now 2-1. So Pirates have a chance here, and that overlooking nice.
Good.
So
Good.
I am. I guess I'm going to have to stay off of this spot because I just. Okay, let's take a quick look at Trevor Williams starts. I guess we can spend a little bit more time here because we only have that one basketball game after this.
And they've been good. He's been good. You know, what could you say if a fucking Trevor Williams, like 2 earned runs, 1 earned run, like you'll take that.
I've always kind of, I've done fine betting on him. I think if you use the eye test, you're like, this guy's trash, but he seems to be. Look, he's only allowed more than 2 earned runs in one start. And look, Minnesota, Cleveland, Colorado, I mean, they don't smash righties, but Tampa does. So the Mets are not hitting righties. How bad are they in the last 2.5 weeks weighted runs created?
They're actually not been horrible. 10th, 108. So a little 80% above average. So full season, they're 103, about average, 15th. So it's a concern. It's a concern. That and the line movement that way also, whatever sketches me out. Maybe that's just Joe Public. I don't know, but it's definitely Nationals or nothing.
I don't want to sit here and guess. I don't fucking guess. So I'm gonna have to get off of this spot. But Joe, you're cheering on the under 8.5. I will cheer you on, Joe. Let's move on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. I like this matchup. I can't wait to talk about it. Kansas City Royals 6-19, 5-7 on the road. Minnesota Twins 14-11, 7-5 at home. Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
We have to build the rotation again. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah,
your stable of arms.
Because Peralta's off. Peralta, I've cut him. I've traded him. 64 Fahrenheit, 5.4 miles per hour right to left. Then it becomes in. So the wind swirling, but then it becomes in for the latter half of this game. Again, it's not freezing anymore here. Not freezing. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Ooh, what's Brown saying? Warlike Goddess looking like a great single tomorrow. I love Warlike Goddess. I can't wait for next week. Derby! Let's take a look at the line history here. Greinke, Molly. And also, I told you guys I was a little concerned about bankroll, and we've had a really strong little run since I talked about my concerns. Twins opening up minus 185. They're now minus 195. 10-cent move towards them. Total-wise, this opened up at 8, minus 112 to the over. It's now minus 106 to the over, so 6 cents to the under here. 6 cents to the under. Interesting. Let's see if the cash flow rolls with this. The one thing I like about these two pitchers is they're pretty predictable. And that's all we can ask for from anybody here. 2-2. 2-2 in Pitt.
Let's give me one more.
92% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Twins. That's a lot of money on the Twins for 10 cents of movement. 57% of tickets, 95% cash on the under. 57.95 on the under. That is a lot of money on the under for 6 cents of movement. Maybe there's a belief that's already pretty low. Greinke coming off a tough start at the Angels, and now he's at the Twins. Do we trust him here? I don't know. I think you trust him less and less every start all year. Molly coming off a nice start at home, but it was against the Nats. Now the Royals hit like the Nats, so maybe he can just do it again. Royals.
They lost that game too, as well.
Yeah, 3-2. They did. Yeah, very interesting here. Slow Jam saying Greinke no longer a starter. Oh, I think he's a star. I think he's fine on a, this is where he started his career. I mean, you
That
want
was
an
not
older.
convincing.
I think you want an older guy with all those young pitchers in Kansas City. Vital says twin spot, but how do we get money off a minus 200 line? Huh. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett. Royals, Twinkies. Floor is yours.
I've been looking at the clock, and I would like to make a cut, though. I would like to cut a play, if that's okay, Sir Jimmy.
3-2 Pittsburgh.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. The team total, easy as can be. Maybe I wish more of those were like that. But Jimmy, I'd like to cut Phillies team total over 4, and I'm gonna ride with you guys on Baltimore -1. But we'll talk about that later. Just a little swap-a-roo, if that's all right with you, Jimmy. Now for this game. Tyler Mahle, yeah, I mean, you might like him. That's why I mentioned the rotation, because he might be in your stable of arms here. But I'm not a big fan of his. They've lost his last 3 appearances. The real issue with the Minnesota Twins is that they're just so fucking bad at hitting the baseball. The bottom line of half of that lineup is so atrocious. It's Byron Buxton, Correa, and then a bunch of shit. So it's just I can't back the squad. The offense not good. They're even 100 weighted runs created plus last 2 weeks. Full season they're 102. I just don't want to back them. And though Kansas City is the worst hitting team in baseball, pretty by far, I guess. It's them and we mentioned another horrible team that I can't remember off the top of my head earlier. But they're just that bad. And him on the road is not someone I want to back either. So if anything, I'll take an under full game, but just no thanks. Easy pass game for me.
Yeah, I agree. What was the cat? Oh, yeah. 92 and 88 with no market move towards them. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to stay off as well here. But I expect, Greinke to get kind of worse as the season goes on. Let's just take a quick look at the batter versus pitcher here before I just let this go. Could have this day off to a beautiful start. Let's just take a quick look at the batter versus pitcher. A lot of experience versus Greinke. Buxton 385. Wow. Well, they don't all hit him, but they all can hit him. And then Mahle has nice numbers on the other side. Nice numbers, except Sal's gone deep on him. Troy Torrance says, I see runs from the Twins in this game. I'm fading Greinke on the road. Yeah, I think that's probably a good way of handling it. Just fade Greinke on the road and then decide whether or not you want to back him at home. In saying that, is there any kind of a way to bet this? You have to take him on the run line.
Team total, perhaps?
But this isn't a game where I see a ton of offense.
No, I don't either. I agree. That's why I'm off. He's given up 4 earned runs in his last 3 starts. So,
okay.
I figured last night that my goal with the A's, I was like, it's 3 runs off of Pablo Sandoval, Patrick Sandoval. I don't know why I keep calling him fucking Pablo in my head, but Patrick Sandoval. Get 3 runs off him, and the bullpen would capitulate for at least 1. And I didn't get that last night. I think the same thing could happen here. If you're like looking for like a 4.5 or like a 5, think that he can give up 4, 5 earned runs in himself, and then you can hope for the shitty Royals bullpen to give up 1. But yeah, I had nothing.
Wine time. Buddy's Mahle and says he sees Mahle getting better as the season goes on. Yeah, I'm a fan as well. TJ says, I see a very Greinke start here. 6 ho-hum innings and a couple runs. Joe Yerford says, stop being afraid of juice. Sometimes minus 200 has value. And Joe Yerford says, Royals pen is bad. I expect Barlow to start pitching much better.
Yeah, because then he can get a meal ticket the fuck out of there.
But so I'm interested to see what happens with that bullpen. I'm interested to see what happens with the Royals. You guys know the worst 3 or 4 teams in the league will give you tons of great betting opportunities. We'll see that throughout the year. I guess I just stay off here. I I don't really see. In a game when I expect to go under, I'm very hesitant to take a run line, and the -1 is just too expensive for me. So I'm going to stay off. Let's talk about the last game on the card before we get into NBA with Billy Brisbane. New York Yankees at Texas Rangers, Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We have Garrett Cole going up against Andrew Heaney. Need to find out. And look at that. Rem Mo says the under 8 in Baltimore. Detroit is close to being his play of the day. Garrett Cole has looked spectacular thus far. 4-0, 0.79 ERA, same whip. He looks very, very good. The 3-2 win at home versus the Jays. He didn't strike out a ton, but still got the job done. Andrew Heaney, 4.34 ERA, 1.34 whip on the season, coming off a easy victory against the A's. Now, remember, the A's do hit lefties, 6 innings, 2 earned runs against them. The Yankees don't hit lefties, 200, 644 OPS, and the Rangers hit righties. So does that mean they'll get to Cole? Yankees bullpen's been very good. The Rangers bullpen has been okay. Let's take a look at the line history here in this one. We have, here we go, Cole Heaney. The Yankees opened up -143. They're now -164, a 21-cent move towards them. From a total standpoint, it's opened up at 7, juiced heavy to the over. It's now at 8, so it's gone up a full run. Mike M saying they already purchased Heaney's plane ticket to the KBO. They just haven't told him yet. New York in a 44 and 15 spot. Let's get over to the cash flow for this one. We have 76% of tickets and 76% of cash on the Yankees, market moving towards them. Then we have 51% of tickets, 58% of cash on the under. Do we trust the Yankees against any lefties, or do we just not trust them against lefties? And if that's the case, Heaney's going to have a good start. We can expect Cole to continue to pitch well. And then does that lead us to an under? But this line's gone from total's gone from 7 to 8. So TJ says Rangers regression came quick. Don't undervalue that 6 runs. They blew clubhouse killer. Vital says Sharps on the Yanks, rolling with Cole. Line move to -180. What do you think here, Jose? Take it away. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Yankees, Rangers.
Yeah, this is the line, the other line that I had last night, and I tweeted it out, thankfully for me. I took Yankees -1 last night, -121. It was a -155 money line, and now it's, like you said, moved all the way up. Vitalis saying a -180. I just smashed the line move here. I thought -155 was just a stupid number for Garrett Cole, who I hate talking nice about one of my least favorite players in baseball, but he does not have a Cy Young award. And I think he saw how much like the Yankees and New York rallied around Aaron Judge. And I think he's a little motivated to go get a Cy Young of his own here. Has not given up a home run yet this season, and that has been his like big bugaboo issue. But like you mentioned, Yankees against lefties last 2.5 weeks, 92 weighted runs created plus. That's 129 plate appearances. So decent sample size, but not the biggest. Not good. Full season, they're 89 weighted runs created plus. At the end of the day, I just don't trust Heaney enough. And I'm putting my faith in a Yankees lineup that just fucking figure it out. I've hated betting this Yankees squad. I'm off the top of my head. I don't feel like I've won a bet on the Yankees all year. It's very annoying betting this stupid squad, but I just don't think at the end of the day, I just don't think Garrett Cole is going to give up runs here. And however long he goes, 6, 7, whatever, that will be when I'm hoping the Yankees can get those runs in. So Yankees -1 full game, -121 for me there. And I will mention my last little note here on Garrett Cole. You saw him pitch against the Blue Jays. He looked not like different, but he looked vulnerable for the first time. He even motioned to the bullpen or to the dugout at one point, asking to take him out or like get someone warming up because he just wasn't feeling as good as he usually does. So that's my concern there, but I'm still the Yankees -1. I still think he can pitch well here in a bounce back or whatever you want to label it as.
What did you get on the -1?
-121. I got it last night. So, like I said, it opened at -155 on Bovada, and then it is just bounced up, 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 and up. So -1's probably not bettable now, but like I said, thank God I tweeted it last night.
And, Garcia gets to him. Adolis hitting right now. Now there's guys on the Yankees that can get to Heaney, but Judge isn't one of them. So I don't know. I don't know. Did you think that this was a suspicious line when it came out?
At minus 155, I thought that was remarkably cheap. Now at minus 180, it looks about right. So rain delay in the Marlins game apparently as well.
That's not. I needed that not to happen.
Yeah, that's what we discussed. So that's annoying. Yeah. I just the premise of this bet to me was Cole dominating. I don't think he gives up many, if any, runs. And anything, I think Andrew Heaney can be a vulnerable pitcher. I just need the Yankees lineup to show up for once in their fucking lives. And every time I bet them, they don't. So maybe I'm just insane betting them, thinking that they'll go off at some point. But I just think that Garrett Cole at minus 155 then was a cheap price. I knew I couldn't take that, so I took the minus one. And I'll mention as well, the Rangers' offense has been just slamming. If you look, they're second against righties, 124 weighted runs created plus, and first now in the last 2.5 weeks. But I think those numbers are inflated a bit because they just came off a series against the Reds, the A's, and the Royals, who we all know do not have anyone near the caliber of Garrett Cole. So I definitely think that the Yankees win here, unfortunately for me. And I'm sorry, one last thing. Sorry. Adolis, you said touches him up. How did Vladdy Jr. do in the series against or in the game against him? I don't think he did anything too substantial. He might have got a hit. I think he got one hit. But, yeah, I think Garrett Cole is just on a different level right now, unfortunately.
Huh. Yeah, I do not know. I know Justin McElvey, it just sucks. Everything was rolling along fucking perfect. I guess I'm going to stay off here. Rock Rogers says Cole's that guy now.
Unfortunately. I mean, if it's Ohtani, Cole, and McClanahan for the AL Cy Young. So.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was about to roll off to this glorious start to the day. And that would, at this point, the only addition would be the Orioles minus one. I don't want to sit here and trust these Yankees bats versus lefties. I'd also like to, I feel like the under is in play. But, it did open very low. This opened at 3. The first 5 opened at 3.5, and moved to 4 immediately. Back to 3.5, 4. The 3.5 is heavily juiced to the over. I guess I'm gonna have to stay off. Yeah, DC Capper. I mean, we've watched Greinke throw very, very slow, and I can look. I get the Yankees and the Twins. I get the spots. I don't know if it appeals to me when there's issues. We have an issue with the Twins lineup. We have an issue with the Yankees against lefties. I mean, when you're going to take a big favorite, I want there to be no issues at all. And I think that, with that Orioles spot, there are no issues there. They're just better in every facet of the game. So, okay, I'm going to stay off that. The only addition I'm going to be making to my card at this point is the Orioles minus one. Let's review all action here. I'm on the Marlins first 5 plus a half, and Miami Atlanta first 5 under 4.5. We're now in a weather delay, and then Jose is on the Pirates team. Total over 3. He's got there. Just needs one more for the casher. He's now pushed. I'm on Pittsburgh plus a half first 5, and that was TJ's gift. So I love seeing TJ get back to the well now, 14-5 with the gift. Mariners, Phillies, we stayed off. Spreadsheet play today is the Padres minus 1. Jorge, don't play. Meadowlark, Lemon play today is the first 5 under in St. Louis, San Francisco. I'm off. Jose's on the A's at plus 268. I'm going to be adding the Orioles minus 1. Jose's on the Rays minus 1. And Jose wanted to add the Orioles. We'll get that in a second. Nats, Mets, no action. And then Royals, Twins, no action for me. And Jose's on the Yankees minus 1. Rocket Rider says, Jimmy, if you want to back Cole, take the opponent team total under. He's 3-0 so far on in the season, but Cole's 4-0 himself. Look, I don't necessarily love this spot for Cole. He wasn't dominant against the Jays, and now he goes out on the road. I certainly wouldn't bet on him getting touched up here, but I'm pretty comfortable not doing it. Troy Torrance, if I was to bet it now, I'll see what it is over at Bet Online, but oh shoot, I've got to pull it up because I shut down all my stuff. Let me pull up my -1 calculator here and grab it for you.
No worries.
Jose, what did you want to add?
Yeah, no, I'm only on those I guess 5 plays. The Yankees run line, or Yankees -1, Rays -1. I cut the Phillies like I mentioned there. Baltimore -1 was my ad there. Pittsburgh team total, thank God I'm on the 3. Would love to see that cash very soon. That'd be very nice. And then the -300 fade plus 265. So I really was back and forth on the Nationals. So the Nationals and I can't say it now because the Marlins, I definitely lean that way with you. Just the bats scared me a little bit for the Braves, but Nationals were my only other lean on this card that I'm like kind of back and forth on. But I'm trying to keep it a little less lower volume, try to keep it my shit together, I guess.
And Carlos Garcia's reverse cowgirl play is White Sox. The White Sox with Cease. That's a ballsy play. Jorge Odonplay has the Nerfy in the O's game. So did you want me to add the Orioles for you?
Yeah. What line are you getting on the Orioles? Yeah, I was meaning to ask you.
Sorry, let me just get to the Cease spot here I want to make sure that I can see how our guy Carlos does. There we go. Okay, so the line for the Orioles, we'll look for the best line for Jose and then get into NBA.
Yeah, exciting basketball game we have coming up with a very frustrating basketball team.
Oh, I can't. This has been such a fun playoffs already, man. I knew it was going to be magic, and it's just been exactly that.
Okay. Yeah, again, shout out to your New York Knickerbockers. And your Miami Heat for that series.
Oh, gosh, that's spectacular stuff. Okay, so we can get you here. Wow, Bodog has a better line than Penny at this point. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. No, Pinnacle has the best one. So I can get you a pretty nice line. So I'm going to shop here at Pinnacle. We get you -144 on the money line. And we're going to get an NBA here in a second. Sorry, let me just get this for Jose. -144 and +119. Put that in the calculator. -144 and +119. And you get a -111.
Beautiful. How lovely is that?
All right, so Jose is on the Orioles. -111. All right, that is our MLB breakdown. That was a lot of fun, Jose, and looks like we could be off to a great winning start. And this is extremely important to succeed, especially with the Derby right around the corner.
Yeah, we took this shit seriously at the second half.
Hey, look, we started seeing our action about to pay off. Feels good, man. Feels good.
Yeah, remember you were saying that if I was cackling, laughing, and bringing winners, we'd be feeling great. And now look at us, serious. The laughter paid off. Jose McGiggles. Maybe he's Jose McPays. Who knows?
I'm excited, Jose. Let's. Are you tracking our Thursdays when you work with me? I believe that we will be successful this year, and I'm starting to feel it right now in MLB, and I'm excited. Excellent work, Jose. I will see you a little bit later. Come close the show with me at the very end.
Sure, of course. And I'll just remind everyone real quick. Who would have thought? I didn't know this until earlier this week. The NFL drafts today. I'm sure Billy Brisbane is going to have props on the NFL drafts as well. I know he's up to no good with that and making money all the time. But we're going to be doing that on the playback today. We'll be doing the live draft. We're just watching it. Yeah, kicking back. I obviously will be there. Dabby Cab will be there, I think. Anyone else that wants to jump on, of course, jump in the chat. You can even jump on screen with us as well. And as I say, you can be on screen as long as you're not annoying. And we will kick you off if you are annoying. But it's a good time. We'll be watching all of our teams make picks. I am into the NFL now that I have a quarterback. And I'm excited to take all of this in. So it'll be a lot of fun. And thanks as always, Jim.
I love it. Great job. All right, it's time to get to NBA, and your next guest is having a good season with us. He's having a good season, 18-14, hitting at 56.3%, plus 2.39 units, ROI plus 7.47%, average line plus 111. He has swept the board in 2 of his last 5 shows with us. He swept the board Thursday, did not do that Friday, but man, he's a hell of a capper. And I can't wait to break down this game with him. Please welcome South Jersey in the house, getting Bills with Billy Brisbane. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
What up, Jim? How you doing?
Good. Very excited about this. Jose was mentioning that you did have NFL spots. Is there some NFL bets?
No, because I'm not in the state of New Jersey. I'm traveling back to New Jersey actually today specifically. So once I get back in New Jersey, so probably round 2, I'll probably tweet some stuff out. But if I was home right now, me and Big Show are definitely talking about the NFL draft, and he's definitely got my mind racing on some spots, but I can't bet it in the state of Connecticut.
All right, well, let's get you back to Jersey, man, where you can get that cash. Let's get to work here in NBA. Just one game on the board, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, first round, game 6. Boston now leading the series 3-2. The Hawks and the Heat, going out on the road and winning straight up in tough situations. That was a big win for the Hawks. Now, we've seen it all year. Your team loses a very important piece, and they step up. And that's what happened here. Carlos Garcia says he doesn't give a fuck what the spread is. He's got Boston all day.
You got to care what the spread is a little bit. I don't. Am I right though? Like, how can you say you don't give a fuck what the spread is? I mean, I could see Boston winning this game, but Atlanta covered.
Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. One game on the docket, Celtics at Hawks. The Hawks open up at plus 5.5, minus 102. They're now plus 7, minus 108. So they're plus 7, but it is slightly juiced. Totals wise, it's opened up at 232, and it's now at 231. This pace slowed down in game 5 without DeJounte out there. Now they're playing the pace of 102.40 possessions a game, close to what the Hawks played this regular season, 101.56. Celtics playing at 99.15 this year, 20th fastest in the league. Polo this, Polo that says, I'm waiting on any one player to admit voting Trae Young most overrated and apologize.
Yeah, facts though. I didn't like that one. I get the Rudy Gobert and the Tristan Thompson ones, but I didn't like the Trae Young one.
I like it.
I think a lot of people don't understand how short Trae Young is in person. I
like it. And I love my guy Polo this, Polo that being with me since I started. Thank you for your support, my man. All right, let's talk about this spot here. We have 70% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on the Boston Celtics. 62,000 bets in, 91% of the cash on the Celtics to bounce back. Total wise, 28% of the tickets are on the under and 65% of the cash on the under. Robert Franklin, though, going on the over. Wow. So the market has moved slightly to the under. The public is on the over. The pace slowed down considerably in game 5. You would expect the pace to slow down in these series as the games get more important. I am now interested in this under.
Hawks I would not bet the under.
Okay, well, let's break it all down here because I mean, clearly you have 72% of the tickets on the over, but I'll be very interested to hear the whole breakdown. Let's just set a quick table for you. So DeJounte comes back in, averaging 25.3 points, 5.8 assists in this series, and they didn't have him. Trae Young went off, 38 points. He's got 3 straight games with at least 32. Jaylen Brown playing excellent basketball. Tatum is not. Tatum was held to 19 points in the last spot, but man, Jaylen Brown looking very good. And Boston swept the regular season series. They won twice in Atlanta, and now they have to win in Atlanta to put this series to bed and to stop giving Embiid rest. Take it away for us, Billy Brisbane, Celtics Hawks.
Shouts to my guy Nasty Nate in the chat. Mr. Trifecta man himself. I'm not going with the Boston trifecta, but I like Boston Celtics first half over 60.5 minus 140. So far, over in 8 games versus Atlanta this year, averaging 65.9 points per game in the first half per game, and a 126.1 offensive rating in the first half, which is really good. And that kind of correlates with my second bet. I'm on the Boston Celtics first half minus 3.5, minus 118. This is also kind of like correlated with the first half over. I mean, they've outscored Atlanta by 8+ in 4 out of their 5 first halves, scoring 60+ in 5 first halves. And Boston's 19-8 ATS, covering at 70% overall, 11-3 ATS on the road in the first half since last postseason. So I like Boston first half over and Boston first half minus 3.5. Full game wise, I definitely agree with some of the chat comments of the books are not giving away free money in the NBA. We talked about it on your Sunday night stream about you're asking me what was I on for the Denver Nuggets game, and I told you, nah, man, they're not giving out free money. I'm betting this hockey game, you'll get a couple of squeakers through for the hockey game. And granted, that game started off 3-0, but we ended up cashing the ticket, and the Nuggets game was the sweatiest game I've ever seen in my life. But that's besides the fact. I feel like the books are going to they lined this game at 5.5 on the opener. Now it's up to 7. I feel like Atlanta ends up backdoor covering this line, but the Celtics cash for the money line, parlay tickets, and stuff like that. My only player prop lean would be Robert Williams over 7.5 rebounds, minus 150. I'm Mr. Juice guy himself, but a little bit too much juice for me to be taking on the Robert Williams rebound prop. The double-double prop is at plus 325. He's been taking more of a challenge on controlling the paint. Missoula challenged Williams in game 3, quote-unquote, get a motherfucking rebound, and he seemed to respond in game 4 with the 13-point, 15-rebound double-double performance. And then on Tuesday night, he burned everybody's pockets, missing the rebound prop by the hook. It was, I think, top 5 most bet on player props that day, and he missed it by a hook. He finished the game with 10 points and 7 rebounds, but he played his most minutes in the series in the last 2 games. Last time we were on the show, we were talking about how Chike Okongwu was going to start getting more minutes over Clint Capella, and that's been happening in the last 2 games just because Chike Okongwu's activity around the rim. They're going to have to subsequent that with Robert Williams out there on the floor. So I definitely think Robert Williams is the way I want to lean for the props, but I want to do a little bit more research to see if I'm gambling on the double-double or am I really betting a minus 150 rebound prop again.
The first half team total over 60.5. What was the juice with that? I can't find
minus 140 at BetMGM, Pennsylvania.
40, because I can get the 61.5 at minus 106.
I don't mind the 61.5. I just more my numbers in the model say the 60.5. It's the number, and I'll take the juice. And if they're offering it for me at BetMGM PA, I'm just gonna make the phone call and place the bet.
Celtics first half minus 3.5. I can get you that at minus 115 though, 3 cents cheaper. You haven't tweeted anything out yet?
No, I haven't tweeted anything out yet. I got the what Celtic player would you cheat on your boyfriend for as the queued up video for today's tweet.
Wow. Interesting. Let's go back. Let me see if I can get you a better. Yeah, I can't get you. Okay. So we'll use that 60 and actually let me just see if I can I
don't think this is going to be an official bet, but I'm definitely throwing a little bit of money on Robert Williams double-double, but nothing on the show makes an official bet unless it's like a full unit.
Yeah, no, that makes sense here. I wonder if can I get you anything better? No, they won't let me. All right. So, wow. 60.5 minus 140 is the spot here. Celtics first half minus 3.5, leaning towards Time Lord. Was it the rebounds prop or looking at double-double?
Both of them. I feel like they correlate with each other. If he gets the rebound prop, more than likely he'll be on his way towards double-double. But it's just like, do I really want to be betting double-double props and rebound props? The way the NBA has been going the last couple of days, I feel like I just want to dumb it down and just get some winning tickets going through the hoop first.
Blue Chase Fox says Hawks have made it clear they're not going to roll over. Says I think they give it up. They're all again tonight, play 48 solid minutes. I like the over because of that. That's kind of high. First quarter, maybe. Astute Chaos leaning to the first half over 118.5. There you go, 118.5. Wow. All right. So Celtics first half. Lou Chase looking at Polo this, Polo that, getting some love for the Trae Young prop for three threes at plus 105. Did you look at Trae Young prop?
I preferably don't really like the player props in this game. That's the reason why I kind of like the Robert Williams player prop. There's a lot of star stud players. I got burned on the Malcolm Brogdon PRA the last game. To be honest with you, is when I look into this game and like what the stats say and what my eyes have shown me, it seems like the Celtics get up early in this game and then end up getting comfortable, and then the Hawks end up coming out of halftime pretty hot, back to recovering, and it's like a 3-point to 5-point Celtic win. That's how I see this game playing out. But I think the first half, I think they probably put up like 63, 64 points. So 63, 64 with Atlanta around 58, 59. So that would be the way I kind of want to attack the game. It's just isolating the first half. I would even probably play the first half player props over the actual full game player props if you're going to hit a star stud player.
Jeffrey Stazovsky says they moved Capella's rebounds and assists from 11.5 down to 9.5. That is a big move. Ron Crawford is on the Hawks plus 6.5. Nasty Nate looking at the Celtics second quarter. Mike M says Faves have been taking a beating in the first quarter of the season. He's waiting for the second half to make it a trifecta. He says his advice is first half, second half, full game. That's an interesting way of handling it. Saturated is on the Atlanta Hawks and Bogdanovich's points. And not much love here for my idea on this.
I got a quick question. Somebody asked in the chat, how do I feel about the wire-to-wire Boston to win at plus 146? Is that Boston to win in every quarter?
I think it's first half full game. I believe that's a first half full game bet. First half full game is what I believe. We'll give Brizzy a second here. No idea what he's saying. I hope it's good.
No. It was we were doing some other stuff on the side.
I'm gonna cut you. I hope he didn't say that. Okay.
Actually, after the Cavs pick yesterday, I'm shocked I haven't gotten booted out.
Brizzy on the Celtics first half team total over 16.5. Celtics first half minus 3.5. I guess I'm going to half. Mike M said that was to lead every quarter, so it wasn't a first half full game. Not to win every quarter, but to have the lead. Yeah, yeah. I thought.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I would just bet the trifecta. I feel like if you bet I honestly don't think I'm kind of with the first quarter. First quarters get a little bit sketchy in the NBA. Just random bullshit happens. A couple turnovers or weird substitution happens. That's why I kind of want to isolate the first half and the spread as well, because I feel like the depth of the Celtics is going to be better than the Hawks with DeJounte Murray coming back. Maybe a couple of the rotations don't click as well. I definitely think the Celtics get up early. I mean, I keep on repeating myself, but I just don't see why do I want to bet at -7 with the Celtics, bro? It's wild.
See, I think in a game of this magnitude, and like there's not one person in the chat that said anything about the under here, and so I'm going to take some time with it. But in a game of this magnitude, I think the under 59.5 first quarter is live, and I think the full game under is live. I just think that there has to be defensive intensity. Now, in game 5, they scored 236 points, and the pace was considerably slower than in game 4. So that does give me a pause. TJ says, is anyone on Atlanta? Yes. Ron Crawford on Atlanta. Saturated's on Atlanta. So there are.
I kind of had the same opinion, Jim, in that Milwaukee and Miami game. I thought that game was a super under, and I thought the Golden State game was going to be a super under, but I didn't bet it those two games at all, and they went super over. I feel like sometimes when it gets into the playoff intensity, that just makes the star players want to shoot more shots that are just going to go in. Like they're just more locked in. Instead of Trae Young waiting towards the fourth quarter to shoot 30-footers, he might start shooting 30-footers as soon as the game starts. Like, they know what's on the line for this game. I think this makes the role players shoot more shots, and especially with Atlanta being home, I feel like that helps more of Atlanta's role players to step up more. And that would be the way the over would hit, would be the Bogdan Bogdanoviches of the world scoring 17 off the bench, the Sadiq Beys getting 12, Jalen Johnson doing his thing. That's the way the over hits. But, I mean, if they put Kent Capella in there for 25-plus minutes, the under's a lock.
Yeah, he's a key piece for the under. Now, the first 2 games of the series went under. The last 3 have gone over, so –
I mean, I think that they need to just boo his bitch ass out of the lineup and just put in Chike Okongwu. Even though Chike Okongwu isn't going to be the best defensive guy, he's going to give you some offensive production and he's going to rebound for you. What more do you want to ask for? It's not like Clint Capella's this 20-20 guy out here. Clint Capella, don't get me on a Clint Capella rant, but he's a fucking bum, man. Just play Chike Okongwu and you probably have a better shot at winning the series. And it feels like that's what Quinn Snyder's been doing, and they've been winning games. If you saw the last game, Chike Okongwu played the whole entire overtime and the closing minutes of the game, and they ended up winning the basketball game. Not surprising. I mean, we talked about it a week early that he was leading the series in offensive rebounds, but wasn't getting any minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna need more time. I just find it suspicious.
It's suspicious, but you add DeJounte Murray back into the team, I definitely think Atlanta's going to score more points, and they scored a lot of points in the last game, so it's like, are they going to come down? Does DeJounte Murray shoot more shots and fuck up the chemistry? Like, there's a lot of things that play into the full over-under. That's why I feel like I want to isolate the Celtics scoring, because I know the Celtics are going to put the ball in the back of the net. They're pissed off.
Yeah, and Luce has a great point. He says, every year in the NBA playoffs, the games all go under for the first series, but then at some point, shit gets real and the pace quickens. From that point on, overs rule. I think we've arrived there. Look, I don't need to force anything here. We have Brizzy on the Celtics first half team total over 16.5, and the Celtics first half -3.5, -115. I will continue studying it, but looks like, let's see if we can, we're very close to getting to the window to start off our MLB card, and I've got big investments in the NHL card, so I don't know if I'm certainly not going to force it. Brizzy, my man, tell us a little bit about the podcast this week.
Oh, yeah, podcast this week. Me, Mills, and Big Show just talking around the different MMA events that we have going around this weekend, and previewing a couple upcoming weekends, cards, and stuff like that. So make sure you're tuned here for Pub Sports Radio. Hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you follow me over on Instagram at Billy Brisbane DFS, Twitter at Getting Bills, because we got some MMA content going around this week. Pub Sports Radio, we're on the road, talking hands, baby. We got a couple more videos before the actual UFC live podcast, so make sure you stay tuned in. People always ask me, they want more MMA content out of me. Well, here you go. We got it this week.
I love it, Brizzy. Thank you for taking the time to rock with us. One game on the slate, but 2 looks for Brizzy here. First half team total over 16.5. Celtics first half -3.5. Brizzy, my man, I will be in touch. Hopefully you can join us on Sunday evening.
Yeah, I'll be back in Jersey as soon as I get done this podcast. I think I leave in like 2 hours, and then I'll be back in Jersey. So it's back to normalness. You'll see the flag and the poster, and we'll be back Sunday.
I love it, man. Respect. There he is, Billy Brisbane. All right, let's do a review of all action here on today's show and then put a bow on this one here. We have a huge card tomorrow. Bobano will be back in action with us, so a monster card. Then we have LJ from H-Town breaking down NBA for us. So that is tomorrow. And we are 9 days away from the Kentucky Derby, 8 days away from our Kentucky Oaks show. In NHL, Razor Sharp Picks is on the over 6.5 in Tampa, Toronto. In that spot, you want Toronto to take the lead. You don't want Tampa to take the lead if you're looking at it live. I'm on the first period under 1.5 at +120 and the Lightning first period at +120. I'm very excited to check this game out tonight. Gogster's on first period draw +180, full game draw +330, and Mitch Marner over 2.5 shots at -130. Then Gogster is on, we're heads up on the total here in Rangers Devils. He's on the over 5.5 at +112. I'm on the under 5.5 -120. He's on Kreider over 2.5 shots. I'm on the first period under 1.5. And then Gogster has 3 spots where he's going for a home run. 2-2 at the end of 60 at +750, 3-3 at +1,000, and 4-4 at +2,000. Then we have Kyle Connor over 3.5 shots for Gogster. Knights in regulation, -105. I'm on the Knights -1 and -106. I bet that about 48 hours ago, I think, something like that. That is NHL. In MLB, I have Marlins first 5 +0.5 at +100. Miami Atlanta first 5 under 4.5 at -110. But we are in a rain delay. It's 0-0 in the 4th inning. Ooh, God, I just wish they could have gone a little longer. Then we got on the Pirates first 5 +0.5. They need 3 outs. 3 outs to the cash. 3 outs to the cash. That was the gift as well. Bounce back spot for the gift. Spreadsheet play today is the Padres -1. We did nothing on the Mariners Phillies. Jose almost moved on the Phillies team total over, but he took it off. Jorge don't play. Meadowlark Lemon play today is the first 5 under in St. Louis, San Francisco. Jose's on the A's +268. We're both on the Orioles -1. I haven't bet it yet. That would be my bet that I'll have to make here afterwards. Jose's on the Rays -1 and -106. Nats, Mets, we stayed off. Royals, Twinkies, we stayed off. Jose's on the Yankees -1, -121. And DC Capper is on the under 7 in Tampa White Sox. Then in NBA, we just heard Brizzy doubling up on first half action with the Celtics. First half team total over 60.5. Celtics first half -3.5, -115. Jose Bouquett, excellent work, my friend. And Jose is hosting a big draft playback show, NFL draft playback. So you can watch it all together here on Pub Sports Radio. What time does that start at, Jose?
15 minutes before the draft, which I absolutely know what time it is. But just remember that you have to go to playback.tv/Pub Sports Radio, and you will find all of our lovely stuff there. It is at 7 p.m. Central, so 8 p.m. Eastern. So it'll start about 7:45 Eastern.
7:45 Eastern?
Yes.
Sweet. An exciting time for Jets fans. I can understand why you are excited. That is our show for today. Big show tomorrow. Bobano will be joining us and LJ from H-Town. There you go. Mike M says 3 fingers, 1 hole, lamb chop, zenyatta, steak bet, Lopez stalker. That's a new one. Let's have a day. And I agree. Let's have a day. Jose, can you please bless our action and leche us into the future?
Sure. I like your shirt, by the way. I don't know whose shirt that is, but I like it. I appreciate everyone, as always, for watching. Remember, everyone, we started today by getting our fucking flag out and putting it up there and raising it nice and high for everyone to see where we stand. And now, for the rest of the day, we let the bookies know. We look our Gregs in the face and we look at them and we say, fuck you. This is our money. This is our time to believe in ourselves. Now, go out there, smoke your bats, get your food, and enjoy the baseball day, and come get some fucking NFL draft today. Leche a los bookmakers.